Yes, it is I, Holly Cameron, and I'm in your phones, but I'm also making an appearance, a true heel heat. I've been told it's a fantastic podcast. Why haven't you had me on it, huh? Where's my invitation? I think you guys need to feel the wrath. I'm at Comic-Con today, but I think we need to get some, some wrath in the show. So let me know.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for our NJPW Wrestling Dontaku 2026 review. Breaking down yesterday and this morning's show from Fukuoka, Japan, and we have new champions being crowned. United Empire captured a whole bunch of gold. Mistico is a champion in another promotion in 2026, making it 3 in this calendar year already. But there are problems within the United Empire. And is Will Ospreay a Death Rider? We're going to break it all down. We're going to talk all about it. And to do that, I am joined by my favorite tag team partners, the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions when it comes to talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling on these YouTube streets. First up, we got the one and only MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, J News.
I don't know what time of day it is. I forgot what time I went to sleep yesterday and then the day before that. It's been kind of crazy for me. Excuse the disheveled look, which is usually normal, but it is what it is. I'm excusing myself here. Hello everybody out there. Sonal, glad to have you back, by the way, dear. And let's get this show on the road because there's just some things I need to get off my chest. So yeah.
Yes, we all got to get things off our chest, including welcoming back our favorite and most positive New Japan Pro Wrestling fan in the universe. It is her life. It is Sonal's life. Sonal, welcome back. You had your journey to Japan. You're doing all great stuff on your channel, but welcome back to True Hill Heat.
I feel like it's just been forever. It's probably been like well over a month. But yeah, like in that time, I've gone to Japan. I watched Sakura. I was well upset though that I couldn't be here for the Sakura Genesis review because obviously I was watching it live. Extremely jet lagged though, on 2 hours sleep.
Jesus. You get there the day of the show?
So my flight left Friday morning. I arrived in Japan at 12 and the show started at 4.
God bless you.
So I was on the flight and I was like, right, it needs to start because any delays means I am missing the show. But I got there in time. I even got to catch the dark match. So it was all fine. It was very stressful, but it was great.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Welcome back. We're glad to have you back here on the channel to talk some Wrestling Dontaku, a 2-day event yesterday morning, this morning in Fukuoka. We're going to talk all about it. But of course, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on the video. That helps out the YouTube algorithm. You can also share this video with all of your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You can also sound off in the comments down below if you're watching on demand. You can also hype this video if you're watching on demand. Do that as well. That helps us out a lot. And of course, sound off in the live chat if you're with us for the live stream. We love to interact with all of you, make you a part of the show as well. So send your thoughts, send your takes, your opinions on NJPW Wrestling Dontaku in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got the good sister Cresta Storm, the birthday girl. Shout outs to my Collision cowgirl sister. I do the Collision post show over on Fightful with Cresta, and it was her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Cresta. Joining us live in the chat, and may the 4th be with you as well, Cresta. We appreciate you and appreciate you being in the chat with us today. We got our good brother Bloody Money in the chat, always joining us, sending us love on social media and everywhere else. He says night 2 was better than night 1. Ignition to Dominion is 2 days after Dontaku, and he believes that Yota Tsuji will pin Callum Newman in a tag match, and Yota Tsuji reclaim the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Dominion. I appreciate them not really going against my expectations, but doing what I expected them to do in a different way. Because I just expected Yota Tsuji to just challenge.
Come out and challenge, yeah.
Lost the day before. So I like that they did it in this way, and they're promoting a Road 2 show in the way they did that. Any thoughts from you guys?
It was really interesting because obviously at the end, I just assumed it was all going to be like, because we'll obviously talk about this, but I just assumed it was going to be some shit between Callum and Ospreay. But I love the moment when Ospreay hit, like, it's like he's still not completely happy with what's going on, but it's like Callum was like baiting him. He was like, "You're part of," and the funny thing is, someone put on social media, and it was so funny. They were like, when Ospreay was that age, he was the same. Like Ospreay's forgot what the Empire was created on. Like,
it was because he was getting little brothered by Kazuchika Okada. That's the whole reason.
Yeah, so Ospreay's there like, Callum, you're being extremely naughty. And I was like, literally, wasn't that the basis of the Empire, where you were just pissed off and you were just being dicks to everyone? The fact that Callum's doing it, he's just a little bit younger than you were.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love how now Will Ospreay's old, and he was like, I was 23 as well. All right, we're gonna talk a lot about that post-match angle, because I love that. I might have loved that as much as like any of the matches from today's show. We also got in the chat here our boy Zach Minger letting us know, yes, of course, it is National Star Wars Day. A bunch of love for Star Wars Day in the chat, and a bunch of love from Jordan from Canada. Thank you so much, Jordan. He says THH and New Japan coverage, always a pleasure. He also says THH, one of the best on the internet for sure, and he thinks it's a great panel, this trio. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you, good sir. And we got a topic that we were definitely going to bring up on today's show, so I appreciate Bloody Money for bringing it up, and we'll start with J News. But one of the bigger news of this weekend, besides the two big shows from New Japan Pro Wrestling, is New Japan alumni who were released from WWE or had their WWE departures. We don't know for sure. Well, I mean, with one of them, we do know that it's definitely a release because it's less than a year from when he was signed. But Bloody Money says, should Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa come back to New Japan or go to Noah or All Japan? So yes, the news broke while we were live on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast on Saturday. A lot of the headlines took precedent with the New Day after a 12-year run as a tag team and trio, 20 years in WWE for Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods were released from had their mutual release, mutual departure from WWE, but then also including their names was Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, and Tonga Loa of the MFTs. They were on the alumni session and then confirmed as a fellow WWE departures. J News, what was your initial reaction to the news of Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa leaving WWE? And what do you think about Bloody Money's question? Do you think that we will see these two men back in New Japan Pro Wrestling or going elsewhere?
You know, I feel like at times I try to look at professional wrestling, especially from the WWE standpoint, as akin to professional sports, where they acquire certain talents to fill a role for a specific amount of time, and then they get cut and are released or traded because they already filled their need in the role. In this case of Tonga Loa and Jeff Cobb, I don't feel bad for either of them. This is Tonga Loa's third time around with the WWE, and didn't work out. He is infamously known on the internet as one of the worst wrestlers on the planet, and he plays into it, which he will continue. I don't know if he'll continue to do, because at this point in his career, he has definitely slowed down way more than in previous years, and he's on the other side of 40 at this point, I believe, if not just there. So I'm not too sure if he'll continue to wrestle. Jeff Cobb, on the other hand, I've been a fan of for quite a while, and I was not happy when Jeff Cobb left for the WWE because I knew this was going to happen. There's no look. Let's be real. You go to the WWE, you're gonna go make your money, and I'll never be upset at anybody to go get that paycheck. Never be upset at nobody getting that paycheck. But at the end of the day, brother, you weren't gonna be there long. You got your money, you got paid for a little bit while. Now you're back on the indie scene or the independents or wherever. I know that I feel like the main idea behind Jeff going to the WWE was because he got tired of the travel to Japan, which leads me to my answer of whether or not are Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa coming back to New Japan or All Japan or Noah. My answer to that is no. I don't think either of them are going back to Japan at this point in their careers. So that's my take on that. Godspeed. Hopefully that everything turns up and goes well for them. But yeah, there's that. That's my take on that. Shouts to Woods and Kofi on their long tenured careers over in the WWE. That was definitely surprising, to say the least. So I just wanted to comment on that.
Surprise is like an understatement. I've never been that shocked on a live stream ever before. Yeah.
So that's it for me on that end. Can from a general standpoint, can New Japan always use more talent? Sure, but at this point in their careers, are they necessary for New Japan? The answer to that is no. So yeah.
Sonal, what was your reaction to Tonga Loa and Jeff Cobb leaving WWE, and where do you see them heading next?
So I was like genuinely shocked about New Day, because actually when I first got into wrestling, and I remember the first WWE house show I went to see, which was like the first ever wrestling show, the New Day were there. and I was obsessed with the New Day. I loved it. It was like at the peak of like the unicorn gimmick and stuff. I was like, so when they got like left, I was like, damn. And then obviously I saw the other news. I was kind of like, I kind of found it funny, especially with Jeff Cobb, when they said that he debuted last year on May the 10th and he got released on May the 2nd. Not even a year. The man did not even last a year. And I'm going to say this as someone who doesn't watch WWE, I don't know what their deal was there. All I know is that neither Jeff Cobb or Tonga Loa were like used in any way that they should have. Like, you probably know more than I do, SP3, about that. But like the lack of what I saw on like actually I've seen quite a bit of Tama and stuff like that, and like his promos and things, but nothing from those two. So I was like, okay, but I thought they'd kind of keep him around, you know? Like I was like, well, you know. Now that they're gone, so my thing with Tonga Loa is he has been released on his own. Is anyone gonna realistically take him by himself? Because as we've known, he's been called a shit wrestler, and actually, and I said this on my own videos, the only redeeming thing, he's always ever been with his brother, with Tama, with Hikuleo, or with like a Bullet Club thing. He's always just been tag team.
Yeah.
We all remember that King of Pro Wrestling match. Like that's like the peak of Tonga Loa's solo career, right? So that's it. Jeff Cobb still has a lot to give, right? But on the take of will he go back to New Japan, or will New Japan take him? I feel like some bridges were burnt with Jeff Cobb. Who, again, I'm going to focus on Jeff Cobb because, again, I mean, if they take Tonga Loa, I feel like it's because no one else will. And actually, New Japan do love. They did love God. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. They were a big thing.
And they went out on different
amicably,
terms.
Yeah. They didn't suddenly cancel like a massive title match that they'd been advertising. So that's the thing. Again, whether there's a place for Tonga Loa is different because obviously there's no Bullet Club anymore. And...
No, you know where he's gonna go. Sonal.
Well, obviously,
don't deny it. Yeah. Exactly, don't deny it.
He will be exactly. That's where all the bad wrestlers go. House of Torture,
and some of the good ones who then turn bad from that change. Jeff Cobb, it's like he burnt some bridges there, and he's not really needed. He's not needed in the Empire. Definitely not. They are strong enough. And then on a more personal note, I love Jeff Cobb. I've met Jeff Cobb, like, do you know what I mean? We're quite friendly, but it's kind of like you kind of just like backstabbed everything. And as Jane Hughes mentioned with the travel thing, if he went back to New Japan, is he not just going to leave again? Because as everyone mentioned, the issue was travel. And it's like, well, that's not going to go away just because of things. So I'm like, I don't think New Japan needs them. And as much as I love Jeff Cobb and I want him to do well, even though he's now not in the WWE, I just think I'd kind of like, maybe, I guess, because Kushida did it, didn't it? Kushida went to WWE and then he came back to New Japan. And obviously, he's not full-time New Japan, but he's in the best New Japan. But I just feel that everything surrounding Jeff, because I remember when this happened, because remember, there were rumors and he was almost trying to like joke at those rumors. Do you remember? He was like, you read everything on the internet. So we were all like, fine, Jeff Cobb, he's staying. Like, that's good. Because remember, this was at the time where like the Empire was in shit. Like everything was going wrong. And we really only, because at that point, Callum wasn't even anything really. No. He was still sort of the young lion.
He was basically, he just came back from injury when Jeff left.
Yeah. So basically, you had like 2 or 3 guys. I think Akira might have been injured at that point as well. So like you needed Jeff Cobb. Love them or hate them, the Empire don't need it. They definitely don't need Jeff Cobb. So I mean, I love Jeff Cobb and stuff, but I don't see that. Again, out of the 2 of them, I see maybe Tonga Loa more likely than anything. But just because this is no hate to Tonga Loa, but I don't know who else would take him.
Yeah, as far as like Tonga Loa, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy he got released without his brother. So he's just basically he's
either of them.
Without either of his brothers. His brothers got to keep their job, and he kind of got hired in the middle of them. and he's now gone because they probably had no plans for him. Remember how they used him from the very beginning? He was kind of like the third guy at ringside. They barely let him try to wrestle because the few spots that they gave him when he debuted and the couple of weeks when he first getting started, he had already started botching again. Like it was just like he picked up from where he left off in his singles run in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So Tonga Loa, I can see him going to like a GLEAT, like King of the North mentioned in the chat. I can see him going to an All Japan, and All Japan kind of takes anybody. They have bad wrestlers or wrestlers past their prime over there that had WWE runs, so they could do that. NWA, I don't know, but I don't think that New Japan should or will pick him up. As far as Jeff Cobb,
he's not going to the NWA. He can't cut a classic Southern promo. That's not his thing. He can't go there.
We don't know that. We don't know that. He's never been asked to. He's never been asked to. But like, we got to talk about Jeff Cobb, because Jeff Cobb will go down as one of those cautionary tales. Cautionary tales when a guy from New Japan gets big, makes a name for themselves, and is thinking about going to WWE. I know there's going to be people in the locker room and be like, don't get Jeff Cobb. Don't get Jeff Cobb. It's going to become a verb. It's going to become like that. It's one of those cautionary tales because he had made a name for himself on the indies, when he first started off, coming from his Olympic background, coming into the pro wrestling world, made a name for himself on the indies, especially on the West Coast with like PWG and other places. Then he became Matanza Cueto in Lucha Underground, and that was very successful for him, a Lucha Underground champion. Then he comes to Ring of Honor, and they really pushed him hard. He beat Damian Priest when he was Punishment Martinez in like a few seconds to become ROH World Television Champion. Had that great matchup with Will Ospreay in Madison Square Garden where he won the Never Openweight Championship, his first title in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Then around that time is when he made the transition and started performing over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Had that standout performance in the G1 in 2019, and then he became a regular part of New Japan Pro Wrestling from there, and of course was one of the early members who joined Will Ospreay in United Empire, and the runs with the TV title, his rivalry with Zack Sabre Jr., his matches with Tomohiro Ishii. I still remember to this day the 2021 Wrestle Kingdom when he had that instant classic with Shingo Takagi for the Never Openweight Championship. Like, he had built his name as a great in-ring performer and one of the better versatile big men in pro wrestling, and he had basically been building to a point to when it would be acceptable for him to be in that main event scene and get a shot at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And then I think it was like the beginning of 2025, like immediately after Wrestle Kingdom, because that's always when the rumors start of certain guys going from New Japan to somewhere else. The rumor started that, Jeff Cobb signed with WWE. It wasn't even like it was like a rumor, WWE's in talks with Jeff Cobb. It was like he's already signed by WWE. And Jeff came out and was like, no, that's not happening. Then him and Callum win the IWGP Tag Team Championships. And we're like, guess Jeff is staying. Jeff shut everybody up. He's staying for a while. Then from there, he challenges Hiroki Goto for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So regardless of what went down and if he was signed with the company or not, he agreed to dates. He agreed to work at least an IWGP Heavyweight Championship matchup at last year's Wrestling Dontaku. And it was advertised Jeff Cobb versus Hiroki Goto for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And then literally 9 days after he won the tag team titles, and a couple of days after they announced that matchup for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, out of nowhere, it was, Jeff Cobb's leaving. We're doing a farewell for him, and that title match is off the books. So I don't know what went on behind the scenes. All I can tell y'all is from a fan perspective, from the outside looking in, it sounds to me like Jeff thought he was starting with WWE or was going to be able to finish off these last couple of days with New Japan before going to WWE, and WWE must have added another 0. I'm not saying they held him at gunpoint, because you got some WWE morons out there that want to, oh, he wasn't held up at gunpoint. Oh, he wasn't under contract. He agreed to dates. He pulled out of those dates because WWE probably added another 0 to his contract. It was like, we need you for Backlash. And he left the company with their dick in their hand. And when you leave the way he left, and it's kind of just up in the wind, and it's up to New Japan to figure everything out. And then you kind of burn the bridge at the same time with all that drama that went down with you and TJP when TJP was leaving the company at the same time. I don't know how it would be possible, regardless of how forgiving in the wrestling business, people in the wrestling business are, they kind of just accept this is how it works. And if you're talented, you can come back in. But I don't know if the door to New Japan is going to be wide open for him to come back because of how everything went down. And the fact of the matter is, regardless of who it was or what it was, if it was Jeff's decision, if it was WWE's decision to make him come in earlier than he thought because he agreed to those dates, they brought him into WWE to be a fucking lackey to Solo Sikoa with his fake ass Roman Reigns act in a Team Move fucking bloodline. And he became a faceless lackey in record time because, one, they changed his name to JC Mateo. What the fuck is that? That's going to be known as one of the worst name changes that we have seen in recent modern history. And two, they made him wrestle in his street clothes the first time that he competed in a WWE ring.
Mic drop on SB3, because I could not agree more. But the thing is, right, obviously New Japan gave him a farewell. And so you can be like, oh, well, maybe that thing. Yo, New Japan might be okay taking him out, but are we as the fans? Again, I've mentioned this. I'm putting this out here. I'm the biggest Jeff Cobb supporter. I have been the biggest Jeff, and I still, to this day, I'm a big Jeff Cobb supporter. I think he's great. However, if he comes back, it is going to, as SP said, it's not going to look good because, as you mentioned, SP3, it's not the case of, for example, oh, you're in WWE contract, that's fine, farewell. Jeff Cobb knew going into when he had the contract. So why did he accept all these big things from New Japan? Do you know, it's not, for example, if it was just the titles, fair enough. It was just he had the titles and a title match set. Okay, he was liked by Japanese fans, right? So I'm not saying, okay, the biggest seller was going to be Jeff Cobb, because hell, we all know that at that point, it was Hiroki Goto. Hiroki Goto was the big seller, right? But people still loved him. And I promise you, if he had not done, I would have still been pissed, right? But if he had not done before and been like, don't believe everything on the internet and blah, 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 and if he hadn't been talking, I would have been like, you know what? Fair enough. But it was all of that beforehand combined with him. Like you said, I don't watch WWE, but I watched his first match, right? I look outside. I'm on the outside looking in. And yeah, JC Mateo, fucking shit. All it meant is that at least he didn't have to change his ring gear. Okay, so that's fucking shit. Why are you going to tell me they changed it to JC Mateo just so he could still keep the singlet? Right? I heard nothing about him. Right? Someone says that obviously is become the lackey, right? I mentioned this, and this is what I mentioned when I heard that Jeff Cobb had gone to WWE and I saw his first match. Is that thing about Jeff Cobb? And SP3 mentioned it. He is a big guy who works crazily well. Like, he does stuff that a man that size should not do. But the thing with Jeff Cobb is his personality. Jeff Cobb has one of those great personalities that, especially within the latter part of his New Japan tenure, when he was in the Empire, he was so witty. He has such a way with words. So not only did you take away all of his ability to put on great matches, because apparently he had 4 singles matches in an entire bloody year. Man has more of that than
19 total televised matches. Only 4 of them was singles matches, and none of them were on a PLE.
So he has more of that in one bloody New Japan Cup. Even if you get eliminated in the first round, Jeff Cobb probably had more matches there, whether it's tag and stuff. So you can tell me he ain't having no matches. He's not allowed to speak. You just put him there. You put him in a faction, which again I mentioned this at the start, where WWE seems to have a thing of like, oh, you look fairly ethnic. I know. Let's put all the Pacific, everything that looks. You could pass it. Let's put all the Tongans together, even though Jeff Cobb's not even Tongan. I know all the Japanese people together, and I'm gonna be like, I'm like with J News on this. I will never turn down people who go somewhere for certain reasons. For travel or like for money or family and stuff. But it irks me that Jeff Cobb did all this, and he was. I'm not gonna say he was future IWGP champion, right? I'm not gonna say that, but he was pretty upper card, right? But when he's left, you left a very good position in New Japan, because at that time we were really down on Gaikoku Jins as well, because obviously KOB hadn't come back or anything. We were struggling with the tag division was sort of better, but it weren't what it is now. You would have been perfect there just to go and basically be like a lower mid carder, and anytime you appear on the upper mid card, you're not even wrestling.
Yeah, didn't even get to wrestle all that much.
If I may, like Sonal said, and I said earlier, I feel like I'm never gonna be down on anybody trying to go get their money, but I want to hand out unsolicited business advice to professional wrestlers at this point in time on this live stream. Going forward, if anybody signs a contract and your money is not guaranteed, don't sign it. Do not sign it. I repeat, do not sign it. The NFL, the National Football League, is one of those leagues that signs people to contracts where the money's not guaranteed. Nowadays, more often than not, what are players doing up front? Getting more guaranteed money so that they don't get burned in the back end when they get older, right? If you're on the other side of 40, as per Jeff Cobb, when he went to the WWE, I don't know, they might have offered you a 6-figure contract. Your downside guaranteed is no longer guaranteed because there is no what? House shows. So if you don't sell merch and there's no house shows and you only have to go to work once a week, guess what? You're not getting paid the full bill, and then they can cut you and not pay you at all. So now you up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. So word of financial advice and life advice. If you're going to go wrestle for the WWE, you want to go to the big time, make sure your money's fucking guaranteed. Because if it's not, don't sign it. End of story.
Also, adding to that, and I'm not saying you need to get on a high horse and stuff, but kind of know your worth. Because like I mentioned with Jeff Cobb, I'm not saying Jeff Cobb is Okada status. Do you know what I mean? Kenny Omega status. No. Nowhere near that, right? But the downgrade from Jeff Cobb in New Japan to I don't watch WWE, but Jeff Cobb was he was gonna main event in a title match. He had a title, not even. Maybe, for example, he'd only ever won the Never title. I'd be like, oh, well, shit, it's only the Never title, isn't it? But he won IWGP Gold. He was one of the reasons that the New Japan Television Championship thrived. Like you said, his feud with Zack. He's been on Wrestle Kingdom cards, not the pre-show. He has been on the one that I went to last year. He was in that triple threat match for the IWGP Tag title with the Young Bucks and Naito and Hiromu. That ain't low in the card. And now you're going to tell me he's not even been on a pay-per-view?
Yep.
Know your worth as a wrestler.
Yep. And he's the type of guy where, yeah, you can make the free money, but it's no guarantees. It's no guarantees with WWE. If you're not selling merch, if you're not a top star, you are liable. And the New Day proves that you're liable for them to either restructure your deal or let you go. And it is what it is at the end of the day. We do got a super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Adrian, for the support. He says Jeff Cobb in GOD was Solo Sikoa underlings. SMH. Yeah. Sadly, that's what it came down to. They were the underlings to Solo doing a Team Move Roman Reigns act with a Team Move version of the Bloodline. And that's how his whole WWE run will be remembered.
Do you know how frustrating it is to watch weekly highlights of SmackDown and see Tama Tonga standing next to Solo Sikoa? You know how frustrating that is? That's like, what? What are we doing, dog? Like, anyways, we should talk about the show. The show's up. Yes. Night 1 and night 2, Wrestling Dontaku. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just do one little side note? Because I feel like I've not discussed this because it just happened. Because when this whole Jeff Cobb thing happened, everyone said, well, it doesn't kind of bode well for the future of Evil. Because Evil made his NXT debut last week.
But this is the key. The key to all of this is, like I think Christopher said it in the chat. He should have started off in NXT. I know. I think it will, because look at the track record. Record for New Japan guys going from New Japan to WWE. It works out better if you start in NXT. The exception to that rule is AJ Styles, but AJ Styles was more known for his TNA run and what he did in that 2-year period with New Japan. But if you become a star in New Japan, you're better off starting off in NXT. For all that's worth, Shinsuke Nakamura, and people say, oh, Shinsuke, it hasn't been up to nothing, but he's a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, a multi-time US Champion, a multi-time NXT Champion. He got the headline shows in Barclays Center, in San Antonio, in Orlando. He's been treated well in the last 10 years since he signed with WWE, and a lot of that came down from him establishing himself in NXT. Finn Balor is still with the company after what it's been a 12-year run, and that all started in NXT. These guys that go directly to the main roster, it literally almost never works out. AJ Styles is the exception to the rule, but going from New Japan, making your name there to the main roster, it's a death sentence. You're better off starting in NXT.
Was different because, like you mentioned, AJ Styles was AJ Styles, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a thing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think Evil, because I know everyone, when Evil debuted, everyone was like, oh, why isn't IWGP champion on NXT? But actually, I mentioned this, I think it was the best. It was the fact, because I know there's reports that he asked to do it. And I said that was the best thing he could do. Not because, like, the track record, because actually I didn't think about that. But because Evil, all he has ever known is pro wrestling. He started in the dojo, made his way through the system, and then LIJ. He doesn't know anything different. And actually, people are like, well, that's the thing is, right? Evil needs to learn the ways. And actually, it's weird though, because like obviously, to an extent, Tonga Loa and Jeff Cobb had already done Western wrestling. But again, it just didn't work. It didn't work. But Evil needs to adapt his style. Because he needs to learn how to wrestle again, because he spent like 3-4 years in House of Torture not wrestling. So
yeah,
bring him back.
The only downside to starting in NXT is you're not going to be paid as much. But Evil is basically going to NXT, and he's getting closer paid to what guys in the main roster are getting, more than guys that are in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't disagree with your point about guys from Japan having to go to NXT just to learn the ways and learn learn the machinations of the WWE. I just feel for Jeff Cobb specifically, it wouldn't have worked out. That's just
I think it will.
That's my perception of it all.
He would have gotten a year. He would have gotten to a year. It would have lasted longer.
How long did Carl Fredericks get?
Carl Fredericks was there for like 3 freaking years.
Yeah.
He made it to it.
Yeah, like 2-3 years. Yeah, Carl was there for like 2-3 years.
Why did I feel like he was there?
They tried with Carl. They really, really did. I don't know, man. I feel like for whatever reason, and this is, man, I'm not trying to shit on Jeff. It's just more of the getting to know. Like if you meet him in person, cool dude, nice personality, witty cat, right? But from a wrestling personality standpoint, he doesn't really give you much, right? So I feel like, I don't know if NXT would have, tried to evolve him or whatever the case is. That men's division is, at the time that he came to the WWE over on the NXT side, was hot garbage. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that means he would have been a top star. He probably would have got a run with the NXT championship.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. For in my mind, I don't know. It just feels like it wouldn't have worked anyways. But
he would at least had a great singles match with Obafemi at that time.
That probably would have gone down well, yeah.
And that would have helped his stock, and that would have made Shawn Michaels book him consistently. He would still be with the company if he started off in NXT. Like, I think that's not even an arguable fact. He would have been.
He wanted that main roster money, man. He wasn't trying to take the NXT money.
I know, but yeah, it's just bad. It's bad out here. But
we wish you the very best, Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa. Let's end it on that.
Yes, absolutely. We got Dion who says, honestly, that's a good point about NXT SP3. I personally think Javon should still be there as NXT champion. I think Royce Keys should have started in NXT also. Royce Keys is smart enough to capitalize on the fact that he's friends with Jacob Fatu in real life. I appreciate that. That was one of my favorite parts of SmackDown this week, is him having a second Jacob Fatu. Take advantage of the fact that you friends with the right Samoans. But yes, but yeah, we'll talk more about that as the week goes on. Of course, me and JJ will bring it up on Rated Raw Review tomorrow as well. But yes, let's talk about NJPW Wrestling Dontaku 2026. And as always, with our pay-per-view reviews, we're going to discuss both nights, but overall thoughts on both nights. Wrestling Dontaku 2026 night 1 and 2. One word, one phrase to give your overall thoughts. Sonal?
Up and down.
J News?
Yeah, I was gonna say mixed bag.
Yeah. I was like, my one phrase would be, there's a really good single show in both of these shows.
I said this on my own
last week.
I said this on my own, but it's Golden Week, isn't it? So they're capitalizing on the fact that they can do a Sunday show and a Monday show, and they're gonna pack it out because no one's at work or at school.
Yeah, I get it. And then they got a big Road 2 show on Wednesday, so they're taking advantage of Golden Week. But I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't need it.
And yeah, especially if you had, but you could have had 2 good shows as well if you would have put either the Junior Heavyweight Championship matchup from Red Zone or the World Tag Team Championship match from Red Zone on one of these shows. I think, especially on night 1, if you put that World Tag Team title match on night 1, both cards look much better.
But can we always say what the big reason that they looked like shit was? House of Torture. Yeah.
Indeed, that is what brought down.
What? Can I do a preface here? SP3. You're gonna ask me, Sana, what do you think of this house? I didn't watch any of the house. I literally didn't watch the television match. I caught it, but I had it on mute because I was like, it's too early for this. I didn't watch any of the Boltin. I didn't watch the tag match. If House of Torture were in it, I wasn't watching it. Just a preface, and don't ask me because I'll be like, I don't know.
It's fair. I even put it on Twitter. I took a good 10-minute nap during the House of Torture multi-tag today. I had to go back and watch that.
I got ready
just to do my due diligence.
Breakfast. I had some breakfast. I got myself prepared for the last few matches.
But yes, let's talk about night 1, which took place on Sunday morning. You had the opener to the show was Hontai being represented by Toru Yano, Yo, and Master Wato, versus another Hontai faction of Tiger Mask, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Taisei Nakahara. Nakahara got a bit of a shine during both shows on the 2-night event for Wrestling Dontaku. You had Yano battling his way out of Nakahara and Taguchi's early control. Wato bounced Taguchi, rather sent on his ass a couple of times, poked him in the shoulder to slowly fall to the mat as well in a funny spot. Nakahara stomped and chomped at Wato, getting some shine in this one, but Wato was able to take him down with a springboard European uppercut for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here for his team. This was fine. They had some jokes with Yano and Taguchi being on opposite sides, but otherwise this was a very forgettable opener to the show. I'll give it 1.5 stars. J News, any quick thoughts?
Nah.
Sonal?
I'm just happy that they weren't facing House of Torture. I was like, you know, because I quite enjoy. I like Hontai. Like, it's all my favorite guys. But while we're on the Wato thing, can we talk about Fujita absolutely killing into Wato for 4 minutes and basically calling out all of the Wato fans, basically calling Wato fans backers for saying like they like a backer? Did you watch the promo?
No, I didn't.
So it was
he's really what's the term that they use? He's really leaning into being a young punk right now. So I appreciate that about Fujita. I don't necessarily know where they're going with Wato here. This is more of him being in the gray. He's ambiguous to the junior heavyweight scene right now. Like, he's not even on his way to the Grandmaster. He's just there right
I think
now.
that's the whole point of what Fujita was saying, because obviously technically it was kind of hypocritical because Fujita was like, you won the Best of Super Junior, you didn't do anything. And I was like, well, okay, technically you also won the Best of Super Junior last year and didn't do anything. But like, obviously Fujita's done a lot more, but it was, if you've got time, go and watch it, because he was basically just going off on Wato for not even bringing anyone else. It was 4 minutes of Fujita basically did, and the thing is, we're massive Wato fans. Me and Jay News particular have always been on the way to the Grandmaster. But it's similar to my feeling as a Yo fan, is that I'm kind of like stumped. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I've for so long, I've wanted so much for both Wato and Yo, and then you get to a point and you're like, you just give up. You're just like, you know.
I mean, you have to give up after the Doki losses. The Doki losses okay, this is never gonna happen.
Can we not talk about that? Because then I have to remember the Doki and Tiger Mask match. And that
we're not gonna we already addressed this during the preview, and I wasn't gonna talk about it.
Scrubbing it out my brain, please.
Dude, what New Japan has decided to do with the junior division singles specifically, I just don't know what the deal is with that. What's going on with Doki? I don't understand it.
I mean, I'm just happy he's not in the Best of Super Junior.
It's great.
That was the best decision they did.
At the end of the day, I'm just about my boy Daikin, the guy, getting a chance right now. So, you know, getting a guy in there and it's all happy. It's all good in the hood for me. But yeah, I'm just, Wato's in. It's not even fluid right now. He's just stuck, and it has to do with the booking. It has to do with who he's paired with. Like, guys, let's be real here. Hontai stale right now. Hontai stale outside of the Goto Revolutionary Army. Because I am never gonna knock Goto another day in my life. I'll tell you.
I mean, they've got a new edition. They have a new edition to Hontai.
I think that they know that it's stale. That's the reason why they added that edition. Yeah,
we'll talk about that. But it's stale, dude. And the staleness of Hontai is permeating through everybody on the Hontai side. They need to freaking do something to liven them up, man. They need to.
Next up, we get our IWGP Tag Team Champions, Oscar and Yuto Ice, the Knockout Brothers, going up against Tomoaki Honma and Masatora Yasuda. This was a pretty fun but short matchup, and I just love the exchanges between Yasuda and Yuto Ice. Yasuda trying to bring some fires towards Yuto, but Yuto just kicks him straight down a few times. Then he follows up with one of the nastiest knee strikes you will see. Straight up knocks this kid out and gets the win via knockout. I don't remember the last time the referee just called it off because someone was knocked out, but here Yuto Ice picks up the victory for the Knockout Brothers with a straight knee to the dome piece, and he got knocked the fuck out. This was entertaining, short squash, but the Knockout Brothers, this is why I say, like, we're using the Knockout Brothers for these preliminary tags when it would have been more useful to have the tag team championship matchup, at least on night one. Like, I understand Bishamon was in the Never Openweight 6-man tag team matchup on night 2, but night 1, you should have done that Bishamon matchup here, in my opinion. But this matchup, I'll give it 2 stars. I
kind of liked it where it was. I think it was great in the middle. It had like a big talking point. But yeah, I was surprised. I thought that Yuto Ice and Oscar should have been higher just because I love them so much. Also, somebody commented about me having the spinny things, the Yuto spinny things. When I went to the Tokon shop, they all sold out. So I couldn't even get one. Never mind
So
15.
if she addressed them, she doesn't have any. So it's a lie. So there's misinformation out of
Yeah, there's misinformation. But if somebody wants to go and buy me one and send me one, then I'll be very happy. 15, even better.
J News, any thoughts on this matchup?
I thought Yasuda showed some good fire, getting in Yuto's face the way that he did. He's showing good personality. And that, yeah, Pedro son, that knee strike was no joke. I was like, what happened? He just crumbled. I thought he was legit knocked out. He sold that shit like nobody's business. Shouts to Yasuda. But Yuto Ice is just showing people that don't even talk to me, fam. I'm out here, I'll knock your ass out. You know what I'm saying? So don't even talk.
I enjoy it. I enjoy that energy. That's the energy I need. Then we had a 8-man tag team matchup. It was Yuya Uemura, Taichi, El Desperado, and CMLL's own Mistico. I hate the New Japan dubbed over version of Mystico's music. Just use the one they use for the CMLL show. That's much better than the one that they used for New Japan. They were facing TMDK's Roye Uyoa, Hartley Jackson, Robbie Eagles, and Kosei Fujita. I did remark in my notes here that Gino Gambino was the best part of night one for me because him asking all these questions about, well, hey, I got a question. Where's Bullet Club? Okay, Bullet Club's not around. How about LIJ?
Gino forgot to watch it since he was last on it. He just stuck all those years ago.
He's like, where's LIJ? Where's Chaos? Well, Chaos is still around, right? Right? No? Okay. But yeah, this one saw Yuya Uemura, Taichi, and El Desperado. They picked up a victory over TMDK here. This was a good matchup. You had Yuya getting the win with a quick her Frankensteiner on Hartley Jackson for the victory. And then post-match, you had Eagles and Fujita got basically teased a challenge to defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championships. It was Mistico who issued the challenge for him and Desperado, and the match was made official for night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku. But this was a fun matchup. I gave it 2.5 stars. Sonal, any thoughts on TMDK versus the Hontai faction?
I've liked these. I really like, shout out to Hartley Jackson and Taichi's sumo attempts throughout. I think it's fun. I think, interestingly, despite neither have won titles. I mean, obviously, Oiwa won the Never belt for like a day and the World Tag League. Uemura and Oiwa are two of the guys who are not actually towards the top, but actually are making waves in their own way, especially Oiwa, because I know when Oiwa came back, he was really not floundering, but it took him a while. Like, I always saw potential because I was watching him in Noah with Kiyomiya. But I feel like between him and Uemura, they just have something special between them. They're not in the same class, dojo class, but they have this chemistry. And it also, I don't know if it links to their mentors in Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi being so close. But yeah, it's got me really excited. Obviously, we'll talk about the second one, the match that they've planned. But yeah, the matches with TMDK and Hontai, I really enjoyed.
Yeah. It was a fun one. Nice interactions that they had here, and teasing of the matchups from the next day prior, because they also had Uemura and Taichi versus Hartley and Oiwa scheduled for the card on night 2. But Jay Nils, what did you think about this matchup and the post match with the challenge for the IWGP Tag Team Championships?
You know, it was interesting to me because They had already booked the special tag match between the Ichiban Street Boys and Mistico Desperado, but it wasn't an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team match, a title match, should I say? And then when it came about, and they announced it post match, I said to myself, "They're changing the belts, aren't they?" For that because they just won them last week.
Yeah.
They won them. And I was like, they're changing the belts again. And I was like, why? For what purpose?
Hey, they trying to guarantee some more Mistico dates. That's what they're trying to do.
I guess so, man. But
And maybe the G1 show is gonna have like some non-tournament matches on it.
I mean, sure, man. At this
And
point.
they're doing like I think they're doing like 2 Fantastica Manias in June.
In June.
They're doing 2 nights in Mexico, but they're also doing one with MLW as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, those shows did pretty well over the week. The MLW shows over in Arena Mexico and stuff like that. Or should I say all over Mexico, not just Arena Mexico.
Yeah. I saw the Friday show, the Kushida and Templario was great. Great match. And I love Kushida doing the Hakushi gimmick. I love that.
yeah. But no, man, the match, like you said, SP3, the match itself, it just helped to set up what was going to be going on in night 2 and things of that nature, and the evolving, I don't know if you could call it tensions, but like the evolving rivalry between Big Roy and Yuya Uemura and things of that nature. So there are a lot of people who feel that we're going to be seeing them in the future for Tokyo Dome main events. That is the hope somewhere down the road for those 2 young men. And let's hope that things work well for them in this year's G1 so they can go on that trajectory at the end of the day.
I'm still going with my pick, Uemura for the win. Since we didn't, I really talked myself into the whole prediction that I had. So Sonal, so when me and Jay News did our preview, we were like, we had a feeling what the result would be for night 1. I think we both went with Yota Tsuji, but we were like, I wouldn't be surprised if Andrade won this. But if he wins this, you cannot then have Tsuji just challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship the next night. So we came up with the solution is you have Yuya Uemura challenge for the title, and Uemura wins the title at Dominion, and then you have Tsuji win the G1. And I was like, I talked myself into that being the better idea. So I am a little disappointed that wasn't how it went down. Just a little. But yes, it sets up something interesting for the next night, and we'll get into that shortly here. Then we had another multi-man matchup. This is the pictures that I put up previously. Sorry about that. United Empires, Will Ospreay, Hanare, and the Great Okan versus Bishamon and Masamoto, aka the Goto Revolutionary Army. You had Bishamon, who overwhelmed Ospreay in the early going. They joined Matsumoto for clobbering down on his spine. Then we get Ospreay recovering with a scoop slam to Matsumoto. In the crowd, you had Khan, who was pinning Goto to the concrete as he sat proudly on a chair on top of him. Goto threw a lariat, almost turning Ospreay inside out. He lands high on his neck. You had Yoshihashi, who rescues him from Khan with a super kick. Matsumoto charged at Khan, but yet he was unsuccessful in rocking him. He rocked him quite a bit with the uppercut, but Khan came back, hits him with the big boot. He then applies the Iron Claw, and basically after the big boot, Matsumoto was knocked out. So the Iron Claw wasn't even needed. And then he just repeatedly slammed Matsumoto's poor little head into the mat, bringing him down as the referee counts to 1, 2, 3. And he still kept pounding his head against the mat until Will Ospreay post-match pulls Goto off of him, saying you don't need to do that. And Goto and Hanare is basically like, this is how we do things now in the United Empire. So this was a tease for what we would see the next night involving Ospreay and the new tactics of the United Empire. This was a fun matchup, a nice little preview to what we would see the following day, just a shorter version of it. Good stuff with the Ospreay and Goto interactions in this one specifically. So I'll give this 3 stars. What did you think, Sonal?
Can we form a union for the Young Lions? Protect the Young Lions from getting the shit knocked out of them. First flipping Yota knocking out Yasuda, and then poor Matsumoto getting the shit knocked out of him by Okan. I really love the Goto army, the Goto Revolutionary Army. And I'm gonna big a massive shout out to Will Ospreay for his interview where he was basically praising Yoshihashi, because I'm gonna stand by this. If I had a Mount Rushmore of my favorite New Japan wrestlers, Yoshihashi and Goto would be on there, because Yoshihashi is like glue. He is like perfect glue that without him, nothing would work. And like, I know we love Goto. We know how good Goto is. But like Yoshihashi is so good. And like in this match again, I love how we'll mention this again for the second. They're planting these little seeds of doubt within Ospreay and the Empire. Like Ospreay, you've got to be good. You've got to play clean. And then they're just Okan's like, you taking a piss? When we created the Empire, what was the Empire about? And Ospreay's like, I don't do this anymore. And then Okan's like, fuck's sake. And I like that, but it's not even done so explicitly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this was WWE, it'd be like a 10-minute promo in the middle of Ospreay going, you are not allowed to do that. But it's a small thing. It's the way Okan reacts and the stuff he does to Ospreay's looks. Do you know what I mean? And I think that really works. And this really set up well for the match the next day. And also, Matsumoto got very high in the card. Go Matsumoto.
Hey, go ahead, Young Lion.
I mean, I don't know if Young Lions get paid, probably not, but get that exposure in something that's not a dark match. Yeah.
J-Doos, what did you think about Goto Revolutionary Army and United Empire?
I mean, it worked for what it was. We'll get to prelim match with the boys to see how the chemistry was back on that first day, continuing to build on that story right now, which I like the story, but we'll get to when we get to the main event of night 2. I have some gripes about certain things, but I think that Hanare looks great. I'm still on the boat of Okan is just Okan right now. I like nothing about the great Okan right now, and it's disappointing, to be quite honest.
For me, I feel like Okan is I neither like or dislike them. Like it's just there.
Being indifferent is not cool.
I know it's not good. Like they're just there for the Empire. I feel like, and I feel like we've been saying this for years about Okan needs to decide whether they want to be like a wrestler or like a personality, and they've still not decided that.
Yeah, they're still in between with that, and that's a joke. I do want to say I'm with Sonal. I think we should unionize the Young Lions. This is abuse. This is just uncalled for violence against these young guys. They take enough with the beatings that they take outside when they're in plain clothes, and they just get ragdolled for no reason. Now they're getting beat up in the ring. Like, why? What did they do? They're just there.
Back in the day, the Young Lions knew who to be wary of, and it was Suzuki-gun. Now it's like they don't know. You could come from the baby face in Unbound Company, but the heels in the Empire, they literally just aren't safe from anybody anymore.
They're not safe.
Because even Gino Gambino was like, the Young Lions have got a new sassiness to them that they didn't have in the past. But along with that, they're getting attacked more than ever.
They're showing a little bit of a sassy side. They're getting their teeth knocked in. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it's just a lot of abuse of these younger guys, man. I don't know.
Need to be humbled. We got tag team action up next, a preview tag for the next day, as it was Konosuke Takeshita teaming up with Shoto Umino to versus the House of Torture's Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi. It was mentioned by Chase Owens that Takeshita should be careful where he leaves his bag. And we see Takeshita coming out missing the NJPW World Television Championship and demanded that Owens gives it back. You had Owens and Gino acting kind of very guilty in how they were reacting to all of this. Takahashi charged Takeshita into the ring post. Takeshita dove outside and clattered into Takahashi into the barricade. You get the Alpha, then rocked Owens with a big elbow strike. Owens came back with a Snapmare driver. We get Takeshita ate a Z trigger and then or C trigger and then let loose a knockout shot. You had Umino and Takeshita actually working together to elbow the House of Torture before accidentally bumping into one another. Following a tense stare down, Takeshita pushed Umino out of the way to take the brunt of an ambush. This led to Umino having enough energy to pick up the victory for his team, hitting a big lariat on Yujiro, followed by the second chapter for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here. This was a House of Torture tag team matchup, but the baby faces won, so it was better than usual, but 1 3/4 stars. Sonal, I know you didn't watch, but what do you think about Takeshita and Umino working together here after their match at Sakura Genesis?
Can I just say, what has Chase Owens paid New Japan to give him that title match?
We're gonna talk about the title match because I'm not liking how any company is booking Konosuke Takeshita right now.
I really like this thing between Shota and Takeshita. I like that it's the tale that I love as all this time in New Japan that we've seen so many times, but I don't get bored, is disdain. Then mutual, like, I need you. Then, like, friendship. We saw it like Desperado and Wato and like things like that. It's going to be interesting to see Shota and Uma. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, especially after the news from the second night. Yeah, I can't say anything about Takeshita Beam, but I've not watched AEW, but yeah, I feel like we'll speak about it again in the second match. Why is there certain people who could are very good or have the potential to be good, and they're just stuck with House of Torture?
Always and forever, House of Torture, bringing stuff down. J News, any thoughts?
I genuinely like the chemistry that Shota Umino and Big Soups have. At the end of the day, I think they have good chemistry in the ring as opponents, the good chemistry in the ring as a tag team as well. Now being, we'll talk about it when we get to tomorrow's stuff, but now being part of the same faction, I don't know how that's going to work going into the future. But we'll see. The House of Torture stuff, man, it's just old at this point. You know, to Sonal's point, You know what, man? I don't be nasty about this shit. I don't know why the fuck Chase Owens still works in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Somebody tell me. Someone tell me why they booked this man. Right? I'm nice to the majority of the time, guys. I really, really am. I'm even keeled and mild tempered, but that shit that pisses me off, man.
Can we just wonder, right? You know, we've seen all these guy Kokujins leave, right? And obviously,
he never left.
Yeah. Is it because has he got something holding on him that he is getting paid a shit ton of money? Or is it that he just doesn't care because he knows he's not going to get hired elsewhere? So he just takes whatever New Japan gives him?
That part. The latter.
Yo, the man damn doesn't even get bookings in America. How is he still wrestling for New Japan?
He gets bookings in Texas.
Come on.
Wait,
come
the peak
on,
of wrestling. Peak of wrestling in Texas.
Come on.
He
Texas?
He
Has
does.
he ever been on a reality wrestling show? Huh?
He ain't getting no reality or wrestling. Booker has his selective spots for NXT talent. Next up,
I've never even seen him do extra work anywhere, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing with Chase Owens, son? What's going on?
Thing is, right? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of like people, for example, like with House of Torture, like, oh well, like is it even with Evo? Like Evo made his way through the dojo, blah 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 blah. Like, what has Chase Owens actually done?
he hasn't made his way to the through the dojo. He came in as a gaijin. He started off as a junior.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't even have that. It's not even like New Japan don't need to have no loyalty. The fans don't have any loyalty. Do you know what I mean? He's definitely blackmailing Gator or something. Definitely blackmailing somebody.
Hey, I give the match 2 stars. I'll give it 2 stars.
Big Man Dogs is right. He is probably cheap and reliable because no one else is booking him. So where else is he gonna go?
Well, reliable means that you're good in matches.
No. Reliability means
reliable means that you show up.
Yeah, you show up. That's what
reliability
means.
Because no one else will take him. That's why he's gonna show because they didn't go out there near the plans.
He's reliable.
He's reliable.
The final preliminary tag on this show was Unbound Company, Shingo Takagi, Drilla Maloney, Taiji Ishimori, Robbie X, and Dake Nagai versus United Empire's IWGP Heavyweight Champion Callum Newman. You had Jake Lee, Francisco Akira, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane Jade. Unbound came out. They struck early, leading X and Ishimori room to batter down on Akira for a bit. Nagai took the subsequent opening to kick and strike Akira. They went at it for a bit, previewing their matchup coming up in the Best of Super Juniors, since Daiki Nagai was confirmed as the replacement for Doki the day prior. You had Lee, who hurled Nagai into Newman's boot in the corner, and they isolated on Nagai for a bit until he hits a huge drop kick, just rocking the jaw of Callum. In comes Shingo Takagi, who starts hitting his big lariats and big forearm shots. You had Drilla Maloney, who coordinated some offense as the War Dragons reunited in this matchup. You had them taking advantage of Zane J as he was in the ring. Nagai drove Callum outside, while Robbie X did the same to Lee, Akira, and Young, and then he hits a big dive to the outside, taking all of them out. This leaves Drilla in the ring with Zane J. Zane J tried to get some control in the matchup, but he was taken down by Drilla, who hits him with a big brain buster, followed by a gore, and he didn't finish him there. He said, "I'm gonna drop you on your head, Drilla killer style, 1, 2, 3," as Unbound Company pick up the victory in this one. Takagi and Newman got in each other's faces and started shoving, and then they brawled for a bit before they were separated as Unbound pick up some momentum heading into the title match the next day. This was fun. The Unbound Company and United Empire has been probably one of the I've said for a while that it's been the best kind of like faction versus faction rivalry that we have in New Japan, but it's probably one of the best that we've had in a couple of years, probably since United Empire and War Dogs. I think this is one of the better ones that we've had, and it makes me think that maybe if it goes on long enough, you can like next year bring back the Dog Pound Steel Cage, and this would be the two factions you would put in it. But this was another fun tag. I give it 3 stars. Sonal, what did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think especially since because obviously we've seen Empire and the War Dogs and stuff like that, but with now the Empire with the heels, but then we've got the more babyface leanings of Unbound Company. I think it works really well. I still don't know how I feel about Zane J. I'm gonna bring this up because
Love his music.
After that, because I'm going to mention it again. Well, I'll mention it now because it's got nothing to do with the match. I understand that New Japan has people seconding. Why was Zane J out with no shirt? As a second, there's just something about Zane J that I just don't get. Like, it's like he's trying to. I understand he's in there. There's just something that doesn't connect with me. I'll not bring that up just because I feel like it works in this bit because he got pinned. Great to see Driller again. Always nice to see. I just really like I know that obviously we're losing titles and stuff, but I really like the journey of Unbound Company. Like, everything just works. Like Ishimori and Robbie X. Ishimori feels almost like revitalized when he's with Robbie. I love that. Fuck you, all the haters on the internet. I love Robbie X. I will always love Robbie X. I don't get the hate for him. Of like, yeah, he does fancy spots, but he's like, no, just stop it. I
haven't seen this.
You know?
Yeah, me neither. No,
I keep my timeline clean, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like I see hate towards Robbie X and hate towards El Phantasmo.
Oh yeah, I see the hate towards El Phantasmo. Yeah, I don't understand the hate.
I get that. I've seen the Robbie X stuff, but I just like it, and I think it works perfectly well with, or like the Empire as well, because you had the natural babyface turn of Bullet Club, and the members who are left work really well.
Yeah.
And then you add like Nagai, and then you've got Yuto Ice and Oscar, and there's so many layers to the faction, and it works well with the Empire. But I still don't know how I feel about Zane J. I'm just gonna put that on.
Fair. J News.
Yeah, no, this was fun. I love watching Robbie X at the end of the day. I'm always up for spot foo. At the end of the day, shouts to Righteous Reg for quoting that phrase. And yeah, like Sonal said, like I feel like anytime Ishimori finds himself back in the tag scene with Robbie X, he seems revitalized and whatnot. And my social media feed semi reflects that in a full circle way, because I'll get clips of early Ishimori and like Noah and doing Toru Machos, and I'm like, damn.
Do you get the dancing clip? Do you get the Gangnam Style clip?
I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like Ishimori's still doing this shit 20 years later, man. This is nuts. It's always fun to watch the dudes from Unbound Code. They're all unique individuals, but they blend well with one another. I'm with Sonal too, man. Something's not jiving with Zane J. I know he's still trying to find himself as a young lion, because he still is a young lion, regardless of if he's a part of the United Empire or not. But something's not clicking, man. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, man.
The thing is, with Jacob Austin Young, I wasn't into him, but I was kind of like, it's fine. But like, he's going on me because I'm like, you know what? Actually, best of Super Junior P time. But with Zane J, there's just something I don't like. Whereas like Jacob Austin Young, I was like, he's there, he's just getting pinned in it. And like now I'm like, okay, we're gonna see a bit more. I liked the stuff he did with Akira, with the tag belts and things, but something about Zane J not clicking at all.
I think that's why I'm not in full agreement with you, because I felt the same way about Jacob Austin Young for the longest time. I didn't really care about him at all. It's not like I didn't like him, but I didn't really care about him, not at all. And now Zane J has taken that spot where I don't really care about him all that much, but maybe I will. I do care more about Jacob Austin Young now than I did a year ago, so maybe that will change.
But I think with Jacob Austin Young, the difference is that Jacob Austin Young wasn't pushed really in the prominence that Zane J is, in the sense that Zane J is always with Callum. Do you know what I mean?
Because he's his young boy.
Yeah, exactly. But like, for example, like you said, you were indifferent.
Jacob Austin Young was Callum's young boy. It's just now Callum is moved up to the main event scene. I think that's what the difference is. But Jacob Austin Young was literally the young boy of Callum Newman before Zane J.
Yeah, I know he was the young boy, but you were indifferent to Jacob Austin. So was I. I just don't. It's difference between indifferent. I just don't like Zane J. But it's not in that he's a heel.
I think you can take advantage of that as a heel, though.
No,
if you don't like him,
I don't like Zane J because I like heels. Right? And like me, but it's just, I just don't like the guy.
Okay.
It's too different.
I mean, I just don't. Yeah, I just have indifference. Whereas this next match, I did not like. Don Fale going 1-on-1 with Aaron Wolf was next. Neither wrestler wasted any time in this one. As the brawl started at ringside, you get Fale mercifully throwing Wolf into a sea of chairs and then sat on his chest. Wolf had enough of Fale's bullying and he flung him into the barricades again and again. We get a judo toss and an elbow drop by Wolf. He came close to getting the win with that, but thanks to Chase Owens coming out, we would get a distraction when Wolf gets on his reverse triangle choke. This leads to Fale and Owens using basically getting the referee out the way to start clubbering down on Wolf. Wolf would try to fight back. They flung him into an exposed turnbuckle though, and in the nick of time, Wolf rolled away from Fale's devastating elbow drop, baiting Fale into the corner. Wolf tossed him there, and again miraculously hits a scoop and a slam. He then follows up, showing his Olympic background with the Olympic slam, angle slam, and that gives Aaron Wolf the victory here, 1-2-3, as he finally beats big old Fale here. This was slow, this was plotting, good visual with Aaron Wolf getting the win with the angle slam, but other than that, this was a waste of time.
Did you watch it? I thought you said you weren't watching it.
No. I did watch. I do my due diligence. I have to write notes. I have to do it for the people. I watch so they don't have to.
This is how dedicated he is.
I watch so they don't have to, and that's why I'll give it a half a star. Aaron Wolf tried.
That's nice.
Tried his best.
That's nice. That's really nice. Half a
Genius. Any thoughts?
Louisville here said Trevor Murdoch classic. Trevor Murdoch is a freaking Hall of Famer in comparison to freaking Bad Luck Fale and Aaron Wolf over here. Can't compare the two. Shout out to Trevor Murdoch, by the way, who just retired. But anyways, this match was a waste of time. I agree with SP3. Secondarily, with a little bit more nuance, I don't feel like Aaron Wolf's getting any better. I feel
who would get better against the House of Torture?
I was gonna say he's got no real shot at making himself. But the same with Boltin Oleg. Like Boltin Oleg, the matches that at the start of the year that weren't with House of Torture, I was like, yo, actually, maybe.
Like I said, I feel like Aaron Wolf's not getting any better, and we still get.
My question to you is, how do you expect him to get better when he's working with Don Fale and the House of Torture?
Ask that to the Booker man, all right? Don't ask me that question. Ask that to the Booker man, okay? Look, man, it like you said, it was a waste of time. I just wasn't a fan of this match. I don't necessarily. This match was put on this show so we can get back to Aaron Wolf versus Ren Narita. This is what this match was booked for.
Yep.
And I was like, why are we doing this again? For what reason? Oh my God. And I've been and I'm going to continue to support New Japan Pro Wrestling because ain't nothing like Japanese pro wrestling. It just when it's done right, ain't nothing like it. But this ain't it. That's all I got to say. This ain't it.
It doesn't get any better because up next, Ren Narita defending the Never Openweight Championship against Boltin Oleg. Narita got the early start after an ambush on Boltin. Once the bell rang, however, Boltin came to life and started knocking Narita around outside. Dick Togo caught Boltin's attention, lending Narita enough time to nail him with a steel chair. Narita swung Boltin into a row of chairs to the frightened Fuoku crowd. You get the champion who wrenched on Boltin's arm. After a referee takedown, you get some of the House of Torture coming out and jumping Boltin before Boltin was able to fight them all off. He hits the Boltin shake. He hits another one to Narita and then follows up with a big splash. Yoshinobu Katamaro tried to spit whiskey into Boltin's face, but he did it first. He got some whiskey and then he spit it into his face to reduce the odds against him. It's a big old power bomb and looks like he's on the way to a victory, but then Sho comes out and he tries to get involved in this one. This would lead to Aaron Wolf coming out and carrying Sho to the back, so it was kept to be one-on-one, or so we thought. Narita in-chaired Boltin with the guillotine choke, then a double cross, but Boltin unleashed the kamikaze, but the weakened shoulder didn't allow him to get the cover. The challenger sold the shoulder. He would eventually get locked into a cross arm breaker by Narita. He kept countering, using his power. It got another power bomb. Unfortunately, when Narita locked back on the arm bar, he grabs the referee to cause a distraction, leading to Dick Togo coming into the ring and giving a low blow to Boltin Oleg when he was powering out again, before Narita got one last cross arm breaker, and eventually Boltin Oleg had no other choice than to tap out. For all the great work we've been doing with Boltin Oleg, he taps out to fucking Ren Narita. Thank you, New Japan. You know how to book so well. You have a guy on the rise and you have him tap out to Ren fucking Narita. This was better than the last match, so I give it 1 star. Post-match, we get Aaron Wolf, who comes out and he issues the challenge. He wants to run this back in Osaka against Narita. So he makes the challenge, and of course, this will probably be at Dominion. 2 of the top matches featured a still green Aaron Wolf, Don Fale, who hasn't had a good match in about a decade, and Ren Narita, who is progressively gotten worse since he became the leader of House of Torture. And poor Boltin Oleg, carrying him to a 1-star matchup, which is a feat, which is probably a 4-star matchup for everybody else. Sonal, what did you think about the choice to make 2 of the top matches on this show featuring the House of Torture?
Do you know why I loved it? Because I got an extra 35 minutes doing some Japanese. You know, I was like, I got up and I was like, this show, it's going to be 3 hours. It's cut into my Japanese time. I managed to catch an extra 40 minutes revision during these 2 matches. Got some food. aside from that, there's nothing redeeming about it, is there? I don't, and I'll mention this. I had a hell of a lot of praise for Boltin Oleg at the start of the year. No, I'm not saying the man's at the top of my list of best wrestlers, but I was like, you know what, the guy's improved because he wasn't wrestling House Torture. Just then to put him back with House Torture and lose. Then you had Aaron Wolf, who I can still say when I was there, the pop that man gets, it's great. You know, I understand that. You have him beat Evil at Tokyo Dome, win a title, and basically imply he made Evil fuck off. Then you had him lose to Narita and then lose to Fale. Then to have him beat Fale, there is literally nothing there. Like, what? That's all I can say. But thank you, New Japan, for giving me extra 40 minutes of Japanese practice.
Appreciate that, right?
Gotta commend the productivity.
Yeah, you know.
They
had it on in the background, but I didn't even want to listen to it because I was like, it's gonna make me want to puke because when they say, "Oh, House of Torture member," so I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna mute it and watch a YouTube video about passive causative tense," which is more interesting than anything that House of Torture will ever put on.
Jay News, any thoughts on this matchup?
Not really. I don't have anything positive to say about Boltin Oleg in this match specifically. Ren Narita is still a nothing burger to me within the House of Torture. Talk about stripping a guy of his talents and him still getting booked on TV. New Japan knows how to do some real interesting stuff with their talents. I'll say that. The Aaron Wolf thing with him coming out to challenge Narita afterwards. Can we say with certainty that Aaron Wolf is going to defeat Narita at this point to regain the never openweight championship?
At this point, can I say when it comes to House of Torture, I never want to get my hopes up.
Okay. Yeah, but Aaron Wolf has to. Like we can't bury two guys in back-to-back big shows. Like you're kind of burying Boltin Oleg, but he still has championship gold with the strong openweight championship, but you can't do that to Aaron Wolf. You already did that at New Beginning when he lost in 3 minutes.
I don't get the booking decisions here. Like, look, I understand Aaron Wolf brings in eyes, right? Like Sonal said, he gets these big pops at these arenas and stuff like that. Like, he's a draw for New Japan Pro Wrestling. The thing is, he's still a green wrestler, and he's still and not even technically, he's still a young lion. So it's like, how are you booking this? Like, it just whatever decisions you make, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. So it's like, why are you booking it this way? It confuses me. This shouldn't even be happening. Aaron Wolf should be on every show like every other young lion competing against the young lions. It's what he should be doing. And you'll get
I think that's the wrong decision. When the guy's a draw, you don't book him like every other young lion. You kind of have to book him like he's special, and you have to capitalize on what you were able to accomplish at Wrestle Kingdom, which was basically highlight his strengths and hide his weaknesses. And they have not done that throughout this whole rivalry with House of Torture.
But what if you're gonna put him in there with House of Torture members that have experience and that at least have had some sort of track record with good matches in their careers, right? It's like,
who is that? Which House of Torture member is that?
Who is that, right? Like, because Sonata was gone for the bit, and Ren Narita's not that guy, and Kanemaru's on the other side of his on the later side of his career, and he's a junior, right? So he's not going to be taking on a freaking heavyweight. So you can't put Yujiro in there with him at the stage of Yujiro's career. So it's like,
hey, Yujiro has put on better matches than everybody else in House of Torture as of late.
You know, that's how bad it is when Yujiro is the pinnacle of wrestling. And are you referring to that match I had with Shota? Because actually there was about 70% wrestling, which is more than we've seen from any member of that faction in like a decade.
I don't know, man. This it's not working for me what they're doing with him. I get SP3, you're not wrong. What you're saying is completely. He's a star. He draws fans in. You got to treat him like one, right? But at the end of the day, he's super green. He's like it's not the same thing, But the premise is he's like a celebrity kind of dude right now. And
they should have had him when he won the Never Openweight Championship. His first feud should have been against the New Japan dads, because that is putting him in the ring with people that can have good matches and that can teach him as he's learning, and they can still hide his weaknesses and highlight his strengths. Putting him in a rivalry with House of Torture, that's the issue. That's the issue more than anything. He's not going to improve going against these guys.
I know, I agree with that. Because I don't know what they did necessarily change the way that they did it, but in more recent times they haven't really been putting the young lions against the New Japan dads. It's just been young lions versus young lions and stuff like that. That would have been a better use of Aaron. I completely agree with that. Him against the New Japan dads. Have Koji out there, Nagata out there, bring back Tenzan for the one time a year that you bring back Tenzan and all that stuff. Put him through the freaking ringer and have him learn through those guys. But this House of Torture shit's just not working, man. It's not working.
And then finally, they needed someone to save this goddamn show. So they sent out Andrade El Idolo challenging Yota Tsuji for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. The two competitors started sprinting very early on, full speed. We get a stalemate as you get El Idolo doing the tranquilo pose on the ropes while Tsuji mashed him with the fist in the air tranquilo sign. Then we get in the corner. Tsuji starts hammering his fist into El Idolo's head. The challenger usurped control with the spike into the same corner. He started grounding the global heavyweight champion with a headlock and narrowing the space between the two. You get El Idolo, who caught Tsuji on the ropes, and he hits him with a springboard middle rope reverse Spanish fly. Then you get Tsuji, who starts busting out all of his lucha libre. He hits like two different types of freaking arm drags, showing off the lucha libre background, and then hitting him with the Sujicida to the outside. And this was the whole premise of the matchup. It was Andrade's promo where he talked about that Tsuji learned lucha libre and likes to embrace that, but he isn't born in lucha libre. He's not more lucha libre than the real Latino man. So Tsuji went out of his way to prove himself. He comes back in, hits him with an avalanche Hurricane Rata. He then tries to he hits a double knee smash as well, but El Idolo hits him with the double knee smash in the corner. He follows up with a great looking tornillo to the outside, returning to the ropes once more. We get, for a Marlowe crash, we get Tsuji, who put down Andrade with a chop and executed the move on the ropes. Then pivoting to surgical precision, you get Tsuji, who surprisingly sent El Idolo flying with another Hurricane Rata. Then we get El Idolo comes back. He senses the Gene Blaster and he cuts it off with a massive spinning back elbow, knocking this man out. Then they start trading these vicious chops. They beat the crap out of one another with these chops. These chops were echoing across the arena, and then you just start seeing these massive welts on both of their chests, to the point that one chop by Andrade starts making Tsuji bleed from his chest. He starts hitting him even more with that. Tsuji comes back with some chops. Tsuji cuts off one chop with a massive headbutt, knocking Andrade down. They trade pin attempts. Andrade reverses a alley-oop into a code red, and then they start trading another pair of pinning attempts. We get a schoolboy suplex by Andrade, a hammerlock DDT, but somehow, some way, Tsuji's able to kick out. We get Andrade, who tries to follow up with the DM coming off the top rope, but Tsuji is able to fight it off. They fight on the top rope once more, and Andrade pulls out the Omega Naito special and hits a freaking DDT on top of the ring post. He cuts back into the ring where Tsuji is completely knocked out, and he hits him with the DM 1-2-3. Andrade El Idolo is your new IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion. And somehow, some way, their new beginning in USA matchup, me and NJ News, and I think Sonal was on that one as well. We waxed lyrically about that one. This match was somehow better This was an instant classic, a match of the year candidate in my eyes. I thought that Andrade and Tsuji just worked so well. Like, Tsuji has great chemistry with certain peoples, the Uemuras, the Gabe Kids of the world, but Andrade might be his best opponent. They just work so well. The story of Tsuji trying to prove himself to be as or even more lucha libre than Andrade, but Andrade having that background, being in New Japan before, being a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, and bringing out that strong style, the chop exchange, the big back elbow strike, and going to that level of violence that Tsuji just doesn't have right now in him, and DDTing him on the ring post and then putting him away with the DM was the difference maker. I gave their match at New Beginning 4 3/4, and I said this one is better. I gotta give it 5 stars. This might be the best New Japan matchup of the year, not named Tanahashi and Okada. That's how good this match was. It single-handedly made this from a thumbs down show to at least not a thumbs down show. So I gotta give them credit for it. What a matchup. Post-match, you get Andrade, who says that he did it, acknowledging the feelings his win may bring while being an AEW star, but he says that he represents New Japan, he represents himself, he represents AEW, but he is ready to face any new challenger. So who wants to step up? And out comes Drilla Maloney in a suit, and he is followed by Shoto Umino. The two men start arguing en route to the ring, arguing over who's going to take this challenge. And El Idolo makes a proposal. He says, how about the both of you face me in a triple threat matchup? So he walks out, both men try to follow him up the ramp, but then he walks right back past them. He celebrates with the title in the ring as Andrade is your new IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, and Shooter and Drilla are next up for him. What did you think about this matchup and the post-match, Sonal?
So good. Now, let me preface this. Similarly with the Callum Newman decision, I kind of don't like that they had Tsuji lose both titles so close to each other. I understand that actually the global title, it's fine Tsuji losing because he's had it for longer. While I was fine with Callum winning, I thought he should have had it longer. And then so I didn't like that decision. But I kind of, as soon as they announced Andrade as the opponent, I was like, well, he's not going to lose twice. Luckily, my sadness of Tsuji losing the title was overshadowed by this fucking amazing match. But I've said similar to you, SB3 match of the year contender. And Josh, good old Josh from We Work Stiff, he said it perfectly, and he kind of put into words more eloquently than what I was thinking. He said that it wasn't clean. He said there was moments of beauty, but it was rough, it was dirty, and especially even including those final moments. And it was. And the reason why it worked so well is because, to an extent, I do like the flashy things, but sometimes it can feel quite forced. This, with the highs and the lows, and you had the beautiful moments, but the moments of grit, made it feel genuine. It made it feel raw, and that both men were literally ready to put everything on the line for this title. And I think the reason, because you mentioned SBP, you think that Andrade is probably Tsuji's best opponent, and I think the reason is it's the parallels. Not just the parallels in terms of Los Ingobernables and CMLL, but it kind of helped. But when I got into Tsuji, when Tsuji first debuted and then when he came back, one of the reasons that I love Tsuji was because he was a big guy, he was extremely strong, but he had this essence of luchador to him, which obviously came from his love of that and his time in CMLL. Andrade is exactly the same. He's a big, strong guy who can chop the fuck out of you, like that chop that had Tanahashi wincing.
Yes, I saw Tana wincing.
On his face. But he can do that, but then he can also beautifully fly. It is the versatility of both of these guys and how similar they are in terms of how they work, which makes them meld perfectly together. And also when they announced Andrade and after Callum won, I was like, they are really going to go full throttle. And again, it's not the first time that they've done this where they've had a faction holding all belts. Do you know what I mean? I remember when I started the Chaos, the Elite Chaos, where literally every belt was held in that faction. And I think they're going to do something similar with Empire, which again, I'm not angry with because like it makes sense. And then I kind of liked how at the end, obviously Driller and Shota came out and he was like, I'll take you both. But the funny was he started walking, then he was like, wait, shit, this is my moment. To get his confetti moment. I was like, you sexy bastard, you know that you got that aura, you know it's for you.
Yeah. This was excellent. And like you said, yeah, they had a level of grit that you don't always see, especially in a New Japan matchup. And like it's been a while since I had this kind of gritty violence that these two men put on display. And Andrade's so good. He it feels like an easy comparison or an easy kind of compliment, but he is so 1997 Eddie Guerrero. He moves like him in the ring, but he has the body of 2004 Eddie Guerrero at the same time. That's the crazy part. J News, what did you think about Andrade Tsuji 2?
You know, I felt when they booked the match the second time due to Gabe's injury that they were going to have to do something different than their first match. And they delivered on that because this was definitely a different match than their first match was, that being Tsuji versus Andrade. And what these guys delivered on Sunday night, Saturday night, I forget what day it was, but this beat, if you're saying this is a 5-star match, SP3, I'm not gonna disagree with you. It is Andrade is top 5 wrestlers of 2026 right now. And there's a viable list of a good top 10 going around right now. And Andrade is top 5, and Tsuji's in that top 5 as well for me for what he's done since the beginning of the year. Yeah. And these guys, man, oh man, it just that's when this is when New Japan does pro wrestling right. This is that feeling that New Japan can give you. Jesus, man, freaking Andrade made it all the way to the back, past the curtain. I feel like someone told him, hey, man, the confetti didn't go off. Go back out there. And he ran back out there for his confetti spot and celebrated and such. Shouts to Drilla for looking as dapper as he could with that suit. Because, man, I ain't never seen fashion from Drilla like that. That's some Sonata shit. I was like, hey, man, looking good, brother, looking good. But that's going to be interesting, that triple threat now between Drilla and Shooter and Andrade. That probably gonna go down on Dominion and stuff like that. So looking forward to that. We'll see if Andrade is able to take that belt and defend it, not just on AEW, but hopefully he makes his return to CMLL soon. That's been my hope since the beginning of the year.
I know he been busy. They book him every week in AEW, even if it's a backstage segment. Because how you know?
How you know? Yeah.
How you know? Even with trolling MJF, say I'm the real IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, and MJF, how you know?
Oh man, it's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. It was meant to be funny, and at the same time, it was meant for MJF. He was trying to coax MJF into saying that Darby beat him, but now it's just a running joke at the end of the day. So, gotta love professional wrestling. But nah, man, Andrade's been great. Tsuji's been great. If this is to get, because we got this triple threat set up, right? And then we have the Road to Ignition to Dominion show in a couple of days, which is going to have Tsuji in a tag match with, who's Tsuji tagging with again?
Shingo against Callum and Jake Lee.
Against Callum and Jake Lee, and whoever pins, if anyone pins Callum, they get a title shot or whatever.
Yes.
All this so that we can maybe, essentially, hopefully, get back to Tsuji being champion and all that jazz. I think
Tsuji pins Callum to set up the Dominion main event.
The Dominion match. I feel like Sonal, I feel like Tsuji lost these belts rather quickly and then, so close together. It feels odd to me with how they basically put the rocket pack on him. But New Japan does like to do the whole, let's see you go through some adversity shit to get back to the top deal. So I'm with it. I'm not going to hold that against them too much there. But this particular match here, Andrade versus Tsuji, man, can't say anything more about it than what you guys have said. They'll run this back sometime down in the future, and I'm all down. I
wouldn't be surprised if they're in the same block in the G1.
You think they'll let Andrade do the G1?
Yeah, because I don't think, unless they're doing the MJF matchup at All In, I don't think they need him for the build to All In. They can make it. They could put him in if they're going to do a Casino Gauntlet or a multi-man tag or a multi-man matchup of some kind. They could just put him in that, and he can do the G1.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. To sidebar real quick, I want to get your guys' thoughts on something that Will Ospreay said over the weekend in an interview about how he wants to be the bridge between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he feels like he feels like talent.
He is.
I know he is.
It's not what he said it, but he definitely is after today's show.
But the reason as to why he said it the way that he did, he wants AEW talent to go to Japan and vice versa for excursions, talent exchanges, people who aren't working all the time on AEW to be used over in New Japan. How do you guys feel about that? If that's something that, do you think that that's something that can happen? And how do you guys feel if that does happen in the future?
Because obviously I've been the biggest critic of the relationship between New Japan and AEW. That's all I really wanted. Do you know what I mean? But because we've sent a few people over there, like Ishii had quite a bit. I want people to come over to us. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously we've got Nick Wayne in the Best of Super Junior. Like, that's cool. He's there again. Like, I want more. And if Ospreay, and yeah, Ospreay is kind of the best bridge that we've had since this relationship started. And if he's saying this, I would love that. Because the thing is, we have sometimes see them in like the G1 and stuff. Bring them just for normal tours. Do you know what I mean? Have some of the young guys come over for like a Dontaku, or like I'm trying to think of other ones, like a Destruction tour and stuff. And like, yeah, I would really like that. Like, that's really all I wanted, is some sort of equality and like because a lot of New Japan stars can go over there, but I want them to come to Japan and work New Japan shows.
I'm kind of more 50-50 than y'all are, because I see the section of New Japan fans that aren't grateful for the relationship and the people that do come over from AEW to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I saw people complaining that, oh, more AEW talent winning titles here, and it's just like, dude, like, do you not understand that this is bringing star power, allowing them to sell more tickets for their show, having an Andrade in the main event, having a Will Ospreay on the second show? Like, it's helping New Japan. Like, I don't like that part of it, but I do think, yeah, we need more crossover as far as AEW talent coming over to New Japan. And I do agree with Big Man Dogs here. I don't really get the complaint of Tsuji losing the IWGP Heavyweight Championship so fast, just to because this is what New Japan always does. Kazuchika Okada won his first title at New Beginning in February. He lost it by June at Dominion. Hiroshi Tanahashi's first reign went about like 2 months. Like, the all-time greats in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Shinsuke Nakamura, I think he held his title for a month when he first won it. Like, the inaugural reign is always a short one, but it builds to the second reign, which is more substantial. And I think the second reign for Tsuji, that I assume is going to start at Dominion, that is one where he's going to hold the title at least until January at Wrestle Kingdom. So, but let's talk about this second show. Before we do that, we got to give our ratings for the first show, and then at the end of the second show, we'll give our ratings for the second show as well as overall weekend for New Beginning. So let us know in the live chat what you think. Let us know what you thought about the night one from yesterday. Who was your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, your moment of the show? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me, J News, and Sonal for Dontaku, day one, in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs in the middle. across the board from everyone. I'm going to give this show a 6 out of 10. Sonal, what about you?
6, but mainly because of that main event. 10 for the main event.
J News?
I'm gonna round this out. 6 as well. 10 out of 10 for the main event. That's it.
Yeah. And of course, match of the night is the main event. Andrade and Tsuji all aboard.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah.
MVP for the show, I'm gonna give it to Andrade.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
J News?
That works.
Yeah. LVP for the show, House of Torture.
House of Torture.
Yeah. I'll ride with y'all on that.
And moment of the show, the DDT into the ring post for me. Sonal?
Tanahashi's reaction with that chop.
J News?
Yeah, I didn't know what happened during that DDT on the post. At first, I thought Andrade just fell off the top rope. And then when they replayed it back, I was like, oh, shit.
I thought it was a botch to start with. At first, I was like, shit, something's gone wrong here.
I was like, oh, shit. And I thought for a minute that there was a freaking knot forming on Tsuji's head. But there wasn't, thankfully. But yeah, there's that.
There we go. All right. That's our ratings for the first show. Now we go over to the second show, Wrestling Dontaku Day 2, which was this morning. This is one of the rare times that we're doing a show on the day of a New Japan Pro Wrestling show. But this morning's show, you had a pre-show matchup featuring the Young Lions, as it was Masatora Yasuda versus Taisei Nakahara. The pair grappled on early on. We get a quicker matchup with this one as Yasuda hits a big suplex on Nakahara. He applies the Boston Crab, and Nakahara has no choice but to tap out in this one. Any thoughts on these two young lions here? The matchup, it was short, it was to the point. I give it a 1.5 stars. J News, what do you think about Nakahara and Yasuda?
For whatever reason, this match didn't play live when I started to stream, so I didn't watch this.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Sonal?
I've really always liked Yasuda. I think Yasuda's got great potential. Nakahara as well. He really sticks to the point that these young lions are a different breed. Because in the past, like when we saw like Fujita and them, their like personality, it came as young lions, but slightly later. Nakahara straight away was like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm going to beat the shit out of people. I'm going to be a top star." And I like that. You go, Nakahara.
They're sassy, as you said before. Sassy young lions.
Young lions who get the shit beaten out of them more than even in the past.
I love to see it. But the real opener of the show was for the NJPW World Television Championship. You had Konosuke Takeshita defending against House of Torture's Chase Owens. Owens jumps Takeshita right before the bell. Fortunately for the champion, he was able to suffer things with a DDT on the floor. The challenger recovered by kicking his opponent in the blue steel guardrail and then spiking him onto the apron. Moments later, they trade knee strikes. C-trigger by Owens gets the better of Takeshita. Yujiro Takahashi blindsides Takeshita to lend Owens some time as he tries to hit the high noon, and he's able to hit it. Owens tosses the referee into Takeshita. When Takeshita makes his comeback, Takahashi comes in and he pulls Takeshita in with a full Nelson while Owens pulled up the branding iron. House of Torture descended upon Takeshita until Shota Umino showed up in support of the champion. Eventually, multiple baby faces from the Hontai locker room came out to support Takeshita here in an interesting move. This led to basically Takeshita wiping out the field with a big tope con hilo on the floor. It left Takeshita a one-on-one with Chase in this one, where he was able to hit the Wagamama, the 2 power drive knees, followed by the Raging Fire to pick up the victory to retain the NJPW World Television Championship. This was way more 50-50 than I like it to be, so 2 stars, unfortunately. What are we doing with Konosuke Takeshita right now? I don't understand this. Post-match, Takeshita was wondering where his title was. He thought it would be returned to him after the win, but it was not. because Takeshita would have the lights go out, submerged in darkness, and a video played of the Masked Man from Sakura Genesis strutting around backstage as he appeared to have the title in a black bag. When the lights came back on, the Masked Man was in the ring and he blasts Takeshita with the bag with the NJPW World Television Championship. And then the Masked Man reveals himself to be Sanada. The prediction we all assumed when we saw the Masked Man at Sakura Genesis. So not that big a surprise for me, but the crowd popped huge for Sanada. You would have thought he was returning after like a 1-year hiatus, let alone a few months, but Sanada's back, and he's going to be the person to face Konosuke Takeshita because we can't get Takeshita out of the House of Torture vortex. Why doesn't any of these companies know how to book Takeshita? He's a dweeb who's being cucked by Kazuchika Okada and Don Callis in AEW, and he loses all of his big title matches or goes to a time limit draw, and then in New Japan, he's stuck in the House of Torture vortex. None of these companies know how to book him. He goes to DDT, he's kissing people. It does not matter where he goes. He doesn't know how to be booked by any company. Sonal, what did you think about Takeshita and Chase Owens and then Sanada's return?
Didn't watch it. I had it on in the background. And then when I saw a shit ton of people come out, I was like, this is why. It went 11 minutes. Shouldn't have lasted 11 minutes. Takeshita should have been done with Chase Owens in a minute.
Yeah.
The Sanada thing, I did low-key get a bit excited because the guy said he was leaving. Then he's been posting shit on Instagram that he's like building stuff, and I was like, oh, he's retired or he's doing something. And then it means that I actually saw Sanada at Sakura Genesis, so that was like a chill. I don't really my thing of I loved Sanada, but I don't like this incarnation of Sanada. But the big news is Takeshita has joined Hontai, so that's a big get for Hontai because Hontai have literally been struggling like fuck with, obviously, as you mentioned, the Goto Revolutionary Army chilled, but to get this is huge because actually when Takeshita started, he was with the Empire, but since then he's not really had anywhere. So if this is gonna help Hontai in any way, and also I guess that means that Hontai are gonna be out for the Sanada match. I don't know. I kind of hope that it leads to something, and it's like, oh well, we're gonna see Takeshita more because actually he's been more present as television champion as he was as heavyweight champion, which I find quite funny. I'm not going to complain. Yeah. Welcome back, Sanada. Again, I wish it was a different circumstances of not House of Torture. But yay, Hontai. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Yeah, so Big Man Dogs earlier says Gato saw Narita's leader run as House of Torture in House of Torture, so he called up Sanada quick. Jay Nils, what do you think about Takeshita and Chase and then the return of your boy, Sanada?
So the Chase Owens thing, as for everybody who's been watching this for the last hour, 57 minutes of time, I already ranted about Chase Owens. I thought that Big Soups was going to get this match done in half the time, and they ran this for 11 minutes. Like SP3 said, the 50-50 of it, I didn't like, and I'm going to stand my ground on this, and I can care less if I get backlash for this, to be quite honest. This is supposed to be fucking strong style. What was that weak shit in this match that we got from Chase Owens? And what was that? I ain't never seen Takeshita get hit so soft in my life. Like I just ain't never seen it. I ain't never seen it, man, until this morning. One. Secondarily, Sanada. Man, brother, I was your number one fan. I was pushing that wagon by myself for a long period of time. And then when Sonal joined the channel, it was me and Sonal riding for Sanada. And then they had to put him with the House of Torture. Now, I
mean, the downfall started when he held the title way longer than he needed.
I'm not going there with you.
This is why I'm in support of short title runs.
I'm not going there with you with this title run thing. I'm not doing it. So to be specific, why is it that Sanada isn't conglomerating with the rest of the House of Torture? Why is he doing things on his own? To me, it seems because he came out on his own, like a month ago or whatever, as the masked man. He came out on his own here again. Now, obviously, it's tied to the House of Torture because Chase Owens knew that the freaking title was stolen and Sonata had the belt. So obviously, there's a connection. But it's like, why isn't he with the rest of the house? Is really the question here. So we'll see how that turns out. Maybe that's a storyline. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I did notice that. It's good to see him back. Like you said, SP3. I guess Gato got on the phone, called Sonata. He was like, "Hey, boy, your man Narita ain't doing it. I need you to leave this house because Evil gone. So I need you to do the numbers here. But we'll see how it all turns out. I want to see if it's a non-House of Torture style match. I would love to see Sonata versus Takeshita. I would love to see that. But if it's gonna be a House of Torture style match, nah, man, nah.
We had next Unbound Co going up against Taguchi Japan, Ryosuke Taguchi and Natsuya Matsumoto. Unbound Company represented by Daiki Nagai and Gato. The Nagai survived a grappling exchange with Taguchi, and then he got an extended running of the ropes, which left him winded thanks to Taguchi. Gato struck Taguchi with a punch after punch and walked away from a funky weapon. Taguchi hit a successful funky weapon later on in the matchup. Matsumoto came in and collaborated with Taguchi with a double funky weapon. However, he was isolated by Nagai, who hit him with a big spine buster. Eventually, you get the flying headbutt off the top rope, and we got a new finisher for Nagai because that gets him the 1, 2, 3 to pick up the victory here, showing off a new finisher that could lead to some wins in the Best of Super Junior tournament. They even gave my guys some commentary, some promo time after the matchup where he says that everybody get ready for the Best of Super Juniors because he's winning the whole thing. I said it on social media. I will say it here. I think Daiki Nagai is about to be the MVP of this year's Best of Super Juniors tournament. I gave this matchup 1 3/4 stars. Any quick thoughts on this one, Sonal?
I love Daiki Nagai, man. It's my son. Do you know what I mean? I always say I always have a soft spot for young lions, but I really have a soft spot for Nagai. Like when they like officially announced he was in the Best Super Junior, I was like, this is all I've been asking for. And the match itself was fine, but yeah, man, I'm well excited for Daiki Nagai in the Best Super Junior. He's got the little shorts now, he's got the new tie-dye t-shirt, he's got a new finisher. Well, rolling into the Best of Super Junior.
There we go. J News?
For health purposes, for fitness purposes, Daiki Nagai, brother, that flying headbutt's got to go. I would rather you do something else. That's all that is. I just want you to prosper. I want you to have a long career. That flying headbutt, it didn't do Dynamite Kid any good. It didn't do Chris Benoit any good. Hey, brother, just change the finisher. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got. Everything else is fine. That's fair. It hasn't led to a lot of good things for certain wrestlers. Knockout Brothers are up next. Asuka and Yuto Ice going against Shoto Umino and Tomoaki Honma. Ice readily was handling Honma easily in this matchup. You also had Oscar, who used his size against the veteran. Shoto Umino had some hard-hitting exchanges with both Knockout Brothers, following up from his rivalry with Yuya Uemura against the duo. Honma refused Oscar's Nightmare Sleeper. He returned fire with the Rocket Kokeshi. Oscar reapplied the Nightmare Sleeper, swung Honma around like a rag doll. He grounds him to the mat, and eventually the veteran taps out to give the Knockout Brothers the victory here. Even in this small preliminary matchup, Knockout Brothers are just good. There was a nice little final moment with even Honma, but Honma was hard to watch in this one at times. So I gave this one 2 stars. J News, any quick thoughts? Honma's been hard to watch for years, brother, but ain't nobody listening to me.
This is true. This is true.
Listen to me. Shouts to Yuto, Ice, and Oscar, man. They're doing the damn thing. The entrance theme is dope. Let's get high. It's all over the place. The fans were in the crowd. I was like, word. That's what we doing now. All right, cool. Whatever works there. Best tag team in the business, man. Best tag team in the business. I don't care what anyone else says. Put them up against anybody right now. They ain't losing the damn match. And we know who their next opponents are going to be. In my head, I just felt like, who else is left? Who else is left? Really, who else is left? It's like they beat everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like either they go on another excursion just to go beat some people up in other companies, or they stay and run a lot of the different stuff back. But ain't got nothing bad to say about the Knockout Brothers and stuff like that. So
no.
God, I love Yota. I just generally just love how when they introduced me to Yota, yeah, they're just great, unbeatable. One like not just tag team of the year, but one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Honestly, I always, and the reason I say this because I remember 4 or 5 years ago when I said that Yota should probably be sacked as a young lion.
Yeah,
I the thing is, I'll hold my hands up and say that I thought Yuto Nakajima was a shit young lion. Guy got injured on his first match.
I get called out on that all the time. People always bring that back up to me.
The thing is, I don't mind if people bring it up with me. I'm honest, because at the time he was shit. He got injured on his first match. He had no charisma. He wasn't good. I always say, and I always bring this up here, you need to have one of 3 things. You need to look good, have a good charisma, or be a good wrestler. At the time, Yuto had none of them.
Yeah.
Okay? But he went on excursion, he did a shit ton of work, and he's come back as a completely different person. Like, I'm not going to hold my hands up and say I was wrong, because I wasn't. But Yuto has improved. And that's it. And his team with Oscar is just perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely. It just works for
I don't regret what I said. If anything, I think I manifested Yuto getting better.
You brought upon that. Last multi-man tag team matchup before we get to the good part of the show. Aaron Wolf, Toriano, Tiger Mask, and Yo, as well as Master Wato of Hontai, going up against the House of Torture, Ren Narita, Don Fale, Doki, Sho, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. House of Torture attacked Wolf, ambushing him during his entrance. Yano denied the starting of the matchup with Fale, leaving it to Tiger Mask, who dodged each interference, super driving Sho. Then we get Takashi Yujiro. He distracts the referee so that Narita could secure a leg hold on Wolf. House of Torture ran a train, pun intended, on Wolf. House of Torture then hits the locomotion on him and then eventually hits him with the dick-to-dick contact, a series of words that I did not think were possible there. Then eventually Wolf is able to triumph over the House of Torture by hitting the angle slam, Olympic slam, on Yujiro Takahashi. Post-match, we get Tiger Mask thanking the fans, and I don't know why, because I did not have fun with this matchup. I gave it 1 star. J News, any quick thoughts?
We got 2 months left of Tiger Mask version 4. So for folks who have been generational fans of Tiger Mask, soak it all in, because these are the last 2 months we're going to have of Tiger Mask. I don't necessarily know what New Japan is planning on doing with the Tiger Mask gimmick, because it belongs to New Japan, and who they're going to put it on to. But the elder statesman who's currently wearing the mask will be retiring in 2 months' time. So enjoy whatever time you have left of him. But of this match, I've got nothing positive to say. It was there. It was House of Torture. That is all.
Sonal.
Save Master Wato and Yo from House of Torture. That's it.
Thank you. Now the show actually got a little.
The thing is, that's all I can ever say with House of Torture is save the people they're facing. Why are they there? I managed to get ready during that time.
That's good. Next, we had TMDK's Hartley Jackson and Roye Uyoa versus Taichi and Yuya Uemura. Uemura and Uyoa have been having this competitive rivalry with one another over the tour, and it really came through in this matchup. They were grappling, trading technical wrestling, having a technical wrestling clinic within themselves. You get them going back and forth. Eventually, Uyoa gets a figure 4 on Uemura until he gets to the ropes. You get Hartley and Taichi going at it. They have a sumo battle in the early going before Uemura gave Hartley an arm drag and Oiwa a bulldog. Oiwa took Uemura to the mat with a side headlock. TMDK then aligned to drain blood from Uemura's head with a double vertical suplex. Oiwa tied Uemura up a couple of different times. Then we get Uemura, who swung a comeback with a judo toss and then a snap arm twist. Eventually, it led Taichi and Hartley in the ring with one another, and Taichi showing off his strength, being able to pick up Hartley and drop him on his head with the Black Mephisto, getting the 1-2-3 for his team here. This one was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one a lot. Good grabs from everybody involved. I gave this one 3.25 stars. And then post-match, we got told that we're going to get an even better tag team matchup coming up, as Oiwa and Uemura were saying that they have to run this back, the rematch from their Instant Classic in the G1 Climax last year. But Taichi interrupts, and he proposes that he and Uemura team up against Oiwa and the absent Zack Sabre Jr. He says the type of thing that they have going on, he has something similar with his former brother ZSJ, so they want to hold nothing back in this tag team matchup coming up. So I think that might be an addition either to the New Japan Road Tour heading into Dominion, or it's going to be on the Dominion card, which I wouldn't mind if it's on the Dominion card. The way Dominion is shaping up, it could be one of the best shows of the year. So if they add that as well. Sonal, what did you think about the match and the post-match with the setup for the tag match?
Really good. Obviously, I'm very happy to have Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. back in the ring together. Like I said, but I mentioned in the one before, because it was basically like a rehash, it was just 2-on-2. Oiwa and Uemura together are just like, there's just something really special. And despite for being from different classes, because obviously Oiwa was one class below, there's just something special. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think they just have great chemistry with each other. I really need them to be in the same block of the G1 as well. They need to run that match back this year. J News?
I actually like the tag team match, man. Can't knock it for what it was. Hartley continues to get work on the house show loop, as I like to call it, and whatnot. And that's always cool. With all the years he's put into the business and all that jazz. Taichi doesn't seem to be slowing down even at his age. So it's always good to see Taichi in matches. This Uemura versus Roy thing just continues to build and build and build. We'll see as to what did they land on for the post match. Is Taichi going to take on each of them at some point?
No, it's Taichi and Uemura versus Oiwa and Zack.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what they landed on. All right, so we'll see as to how that. I guess that'll be done for what, Dominion, because they didn't promote it.
I would think it's going to be Dominion. I would hope it's going to be Dominion, or maybe a main event for a New Japan Road Show. Who knows with how New Japan
we
books
need to see Taichi and Zack on a main event. I feel like that alone deserves its own spotlight to bring back the husbands together.
Then we had our last preliminary matchup before we get 3 straight title matches. Unbound Company and United Empire clashing again, this time in an 8-man tag. Unbound being represented by Jola Maloney, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji, going up against United Empire's Francisco Akira, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J. You got X and Ishimori. They contended with the Young Lion pair from United Empire in the early going. We get Samato knees to the head of Ishimori by Akira. Then we get Maloney, who tried for the Driller Killer, but he missed the mark on Jay, who was more prepared this time. Then he hits him with a big time power bomb instead. Tsuji comes in and he goes at it with Zane J, hitting him with a tilt-a-war backbreaker, laying him out there, while Robbie X takes out the rest of United Empire with a big dive to the outside, and Tsuji puts Zane J away with the Boston Crab to pick up the victory here. You could tell like Tsuji was not in a good mood. He didn't have his signature smile during the entrance, and he just put Zane J away with some veracity a bit in this one, as he gets Unbound Company the victory in this 8-man tag. decent, fun action between Unbound and United Empire. Again, I gave this one 3 stars. J News, any quick thoughts?
I feel like a more serious Tsuji is a dangerous Tsuji. So I think we're going to get another an evolved version of Tsuji going forward here with after the losses of both of the championships that he was holding. But like you said, SP3, decent action here. Love watching Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori do their thing with the Unbound Co. Tsuji works so well with the rest of the team when they're together as a unit. And the United Empire guys, man, like Zane J was there to take the pinfall or the submission, so it worked out for it all. And that's pretty much it. Just hoping that that Tsuji gets back on the good foot and on the righteous path.
Sonal?
As Jane, you said, dangerous Tsuji, man. It's the smile. It's the smile. It's dangerous as it is, but no smile. I'm like, holy shit, man. Word. I just love the whole dynamic. You got Akira here being unhinged as shit. God knows what fucking Jake Lee decides to do, but I realize he must be my spirit animal because the man does not know what's going on. Guy was on commentary a few matches later with face paint on, like just living his best life, really. Can't really say
they were looking for him backstage during the United Empire portion of it. So yeah, he's doing his own thing. But then we got some really good stuff to end off this card as you get IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships up for grabs, as it was Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, the Ichiban Sweet Boys, defending against El Desperado and CMLL's own Mistico. Desperado nearly met Fujita at every turn as they started going at it, following up from the post-match when they were slapping each other from the night prior. You get Mistico, who comes in with a Tijeras takedown on Eagles. He kept trying for La Mystica, but Eagles had a reversal every single time, got a nice transition pin out of it. Desperado followed up. He hits a spine buster, and he goes for the stretch muffler on Fujita. He tries to get it into numero dos, but Fujita's able to fight off and get his own submission on. Mistico then rocked Fujita with a tope suicida. You get Fujita, who hits a crazy flip dive to the outside onto El Desperado. We get Eagles with a flip tope con hilo out through the top and middle rope at one point. You get Desperado hits a crazy dive to the outside. The champion and challenger both beating the 20 count. Throughout the matchup, Mistico would try again and again for La Mystica, but each and every time Eagles had a reversal for him, though Eagles displayed a heated fire and strikes and kicks with Desperado. The latter quilled his momentum with a massive spear, though. We get Mistico, who tries to go for La Mystica again, but Eagles blocks it yet again. But then at the end, it looks like Fujita has the match under control with the double armbar, but Mistico finally gets La Mystica. He locks Eagles in the armbar, and that was enough of a distraction for El Desperado to reverse Fujita into the numero dos. With Fujita being the legal man, he had no help from Eagles, had no way to get out of the hold, and he was forced to tap out to El Despi, as Despi and Mistico in their first tag team matchup ever together in a 2-on-2 format, they get the victory and they become the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Very, very fun matchup. It was fast-paced. It just kept moving. The interactions between Mistico and Eagles was great, and how they built up to La Mystica at the end. El Desperado and Fujita just have a level of intensity that is unlike any other junior heavyweight rivalry in this company right now. They just always just beat the hell out of each other, and they have that submission background, which makes it very compelling when they get to the mat. But this was a great finish to what I thought was a great matchup. I give it 4 stars. J News, what did you think about this one?
I agree with you, man. I had a lot of fun with the match. I was just thrown off by the result, if I'm being completely honest. But that was the only thing about it. It was really just the result. And I don't have anything against Desperado and Mistico at the end of the day. It's really just more like, well, the Ichiban Sweet Boys just won the tag team titles last week. Like I just figured they were going to go on some sort of a run and whatnot. But guess not. This is good. This is interesting as to how they maintain this tag team between Mistico and Desperado, especially with. I would assume Mistico's going to be a part of the Best of Super Juniors, or is he not? I forget if he
no,
was.
He's not.
No,
he's,
right?
not.
He's not.
He's not in Best of Super Juniors.
So, what was I going to say? So now with them as tag champions, it's like, well, he's gonna, like you stated earlier, he's gonna have to make more appearances in New Japan, right? Because these titles get defended often, right? So we'll see as to all that breaks down. But I had a lot of fun with the match. I thought, like you said, the chemistry between Mistico and Robbie Eagles specifically was really, really good, really intense. It really just seemed like they don't like each other for one reason or another. So they were going at it quite a bit. And yeah, man, Fujita's got that young punk energy always against the establishment, and Desperado having the pencil over for the junior division along with freaking Dick Togo. I'm sure that Fujita always has those knife-edge chops ready for Desperado, as he did during this match. But when he put him in that stretch muffler at the end of the match, I was like, who's legal here? I forgot who was legal. I was like, who's legal? And then when the referee announced the winner, I was like, wow. I think this is the shortest title reign I've ever witnessed for the junior tag titles. But, it worked out. A fun match nonetheless. Give credit where credit is due. But I just wonder what the hell they're going to do with this put together tag team that literally just won their first match and became champions.
Sonal, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, the only grievance was obviously the result. I kind of think, though, at least I think, because in the past I was like, right, we need secure defenses because it kind of stabilizes the division. I kind of think, I'm not saying that it's not going to impact it, but I think the division has some pretty decent some really good matches, actually. Sorry, not decent. Some really good matches that it's not too much of a thing. Like, again, this match was phenomenal. But it's fine because this has all happened because Kosei Fujita is going to win the Best of Super Junior. They don't want him to have too many belts.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, this is freeing him up to win back-to-back Best of Super Juniors.
He can't be that selfish. You can't have the tag titles and the Best of Super Junior trophy and then beat Doki. So that's why they've done it.
Exactly. Smart. It's smart by them. But then you had the semi-main event, United Empire, being represented by Will Ospreay, the Great Okan, and Honore, challenging Bishamontin, Hiroki Goto, Boltin, Oleg, and Yoshihashi. Early on, you had Honore and Khan. They capitalized on advantage on Yoshihashi before Goto went in and intervened. You get Boltin Oleg, who tries to intervene, but then so did Ospreay. It's a whole-out brawl with all 6 men. Khan and clobbered Boltin arm from the night prior, him injuring the arm against Ren Narita, whereas you had Honore, who tormented Yoshihashi. Ospreay swirled around him. You get nice little exchanges between Yoshihashi and Ospreay in this one, as well as Yoshihashi and Honore. You get Boltin and Honore. They started going at it, following up from their great matchup in the New Japan Cup. You get Boltin with the Boltin shake on Honore, but then Honore bounces back and he hits a big senton on the big man. Ospreay met Boltin with a flying elbow, taking him out, and Yoshihashi with a dive into the guardrails. Goto absorbed some chops from Ospreay and Kawada kicks, and then he unleashed some elbows. You get Honore, who caught Goto with a spine buster. Ospreay came up with a 450 splash, but he only gets a near fall on Goto. Boltin then rescued Goto in the nick of time as Ospreay went up for a Os cutter, and Boltin catches him with some insane timing right into the kamikaze. Honore and Boltin then flung each other into the guardrails and eventually wearing each other out onto the concrete. Khan and Honore convened for gut punches to Yoshihashi and then the assisted powerbomb, but they were only able to get a near fall. Yoshihashi got some lariats, turning Ospreay inside out at the end. Boltin then returned to action, driving Khan into the corner for Bishamon to pick him apart. Ospreay devastated Goto with a sky twister press to the outside, as well as Boltin. It looked like it was all a wrap from there as Khan and Honore hoisted Yoshihashi up, with Ospreay coming off the top rope with a hidden blade as they get the 1-2-3 to become the new never open weight 6-man tag team champions. excellent matchup. This was nonstop action. Love the save by Ospreay when he leaped over the Shoto at the end to make the save before United Empire pulled off all their offense at the end. And I love that finisher of the powerbomb, Iron Claw, and Hidden Blade all at the same time, Doomsday Device style. That was awesome to finish this one. And then post-match, you get Honore and Khan. They say they never lost the IWGP Tag Team Championships. So now that they're the champions again, they want to challenge the Knockout Brothers. The Knockout Brothers come out. They accept the challenge. Yuto with another great promo that the crowd got behind as we have our tag team title matchup for Dominion set. But the United Empire are the new never openweight 6-man tag team champions. Like I said, excellent matchup. Awesome action throughout, nonstop. The exchanges between Ospreay and Goto were probably the highlight of the matchup, but Boltin and Honore had great chemistry. Boltin with the catch on the house cutter was probably the moment of the matchup for me, outside of the jump over Hidden Blade and then the finish. I gave this matchup 4.25 stars. Sonal, what did you think?
Great, honestly. Like, this is what I'm saying, right? When you keep Ass Torch away from the Never Belts, they do some good stuff. Obviously gutted that Bishamontin and Boltin Oleg lost. I was hoping they was gonna go all the way, beat the record they set with Ishii. But like I said, with everything going on, it's the way of the Empire, Empire's taken over, and I can't be upset about that. It'd be great to see Ospreay more in Japan, because if you can tell by the reactions, they fucking love him there.
They do. It's very rare that I hear the Japan crowds just going along with the US crowd with the Ospreay when he makes his entrance.
Exactly. So I can't complain. It was a great match. Yoshihashi, bloody great. Did nothing. I can't say. I know, like, obviously everyone's like, oh, he got butt pinned, but like, he really did make this match. And again, Goto and Ospreay's interaction, like, phenomenal. I want to G1, if Ospreay's in the G1, give me Goto versus Ospreay. Former
Ospreay
Chaos
versus
Chaos. This is the closest I'm getting to.
What? Can't be in the G1. He can't be in the G1. He's got to build to Wembley.
Well, give me at some point. Give it me, because this is the closest I'm getting to a Chaos reunion.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. J News, any thoughts on the Never title? Never 6-man.
It went better than what I thought it would, to be quite honest. I didn't necessarily know how Will would look with Okan and Hanare, with everything that's going on storyline wise and whatnot, but everything fit the bill. And the finisher that they have going now, that's pretty sick and whatnot. So I got to give them credit for that on the Empire Boys side. Bishamontin, man, they were good never openweight 6-man champions. We knew Will Ospreay didn't come back for no reason. So this was kind of foretold, but the match looked very good, and everybody did their damn thing. Got to give Boltin Oleg more credit here. When you take him out of the House of Torture mix, he does some good stuff. So I got to give the dude credit there. And Bishamon's Bishamon, man. You can't. They age, but they haven't aged that much in the last couple of years, so they're still on top of their game. And yeah, man. I think it was Jordan from Canada who said it, that Will looks a little leaner now than he did a couple since he came back from neck surgery, which he is, moving around better and stuff like that, and not so much wear and tear on the joints and all that jazz. So hopefully he's able to sustain that, and that he keeps himself and his body healthy going forward. And yeah, man, seeing him more in New Japan is just gonna. I think it'll help change people's minds of going over to New Japan for working reasons and stuff like that. Because if a top guy like Ospreay's doing it, guys who aren't top guys can just go and work, because people need the reps. This is important. This is something I'm going to continue to stress anytime I'm on a podcast. Wrestlers need reps with the lack of house shows on the bigger American companies and stuff like that. And sometimes indies don't have enough freaking money to go around. And if you can go work elsewhere, Japan's always a good place to go to work if the money's right. So, yeah, that the match was good as a whole, in my estimation.
And then finally, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, it was Callum Newman defending against Shingo Takagi. Newman unwisely sought a forearm exchange with Takagi, who got the better of that. He rebounded with a flurry of kicks. You get a Os cutter come in, but that was shrugged off and blocked by Shingo. Newman opted to re-strategize, taking the fight to the floor a bit. Takagi grew tired of Newman wasting time, as Newman even got in a little moment with Natsupoi, who was in the crowd, Shingo's wife, and tried to sit down next to her after he threw Shingo into a sea of chairs, and Shingo just comes over and pops him right in the face after him trying to lay his hands on his wife. Shingo then turned up the intensity even more, throwing Newman into the steel guardrails. Before the dispersed crowd, you get some more like fighting between the two on the outside, where Shingo was in firm control, but then Newman was able to reverse things as he got the advantage on the outside. When bringing it back into the ring, we get Newman, who focuses on the rib cage of Shingo, hitting the Jake Lee style knees into the gut. Takagi then made a comeback. He hits a tornado DDT. He even catches Newman as he goes up for the Os cutter, and he catches him into a cutter of his own. Newman plummeted Takagi into the unforgiving wood of the table on the outside, dropping him down in there, breaking the table as he tried to get more firmer of an advantage. And the story of the matchup became, anytime the match was in the ring, Shingo had the advantage. And then when the fight went outside, that's when Newman would gain control. We got a couple of different referee distractions or bumps in this one, as Newman faked like he had a knee injury at one point, throws the referee out. This brings in Zane J and Dake Nagai, who started fighting it out with one another. We get another instance where you get Shingo, who hits a Made in Japan, while you get Made in X's by Newman, who gets a near fall on that one. Another part of the matchup where there was a referee distraction, you get some members of United Empire coming in, as well as Yota Tsuji, who takes out Jake Lee when he tries to get involved into the matchup. We get the Princess Curse by Callum, gets a near fall, denying another low blow though. Shingo crashes Newman into the mat with two Made in Japan's back to back, and then hits the pumping bomber. Neither of those do the trick, nor does the Raging Dragon, as Shingo only gets a near fall. Will Ospreay now comes to ringside, and he urges Callum to return to his feet. Out of the referee's view, we get Newman with a low blow as Ospreay is pissed. You can see him visibly getting upset on the outside as Newman hits another Princess Curse, but Shingo is able to kick out yet again. Shingo hits him with a Poison Rana. He looks like he's about to get this one when Newman once again pushes the referee out the way. He gets a low blow, a kick to the rib cage, and then he finishes off Shingo with the make way and gets the 1-2-3. Will Ospreay was absolutely livid at Newman constantly cheating, using the interference of United Empire and multiple low blows to get the victory here. So he was none too pleased in the post match. You get the rest of United Empire who come down as Yota Tsuji is checking on Shingo Takagi. Ospreay was the only one who looked disappointed out of all the United Empire members. Tsuji was standing up to Newman, who looked to try to attack Shingo. He stays in front of him when he tries to hit him with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and he tries to stop him, but then he attacks Tsuji. It looks like he's about to hit him with the title when Ospreay tries to stop him. He stops him, and he says, "You don't need to do it this way," until Ospreay says, "Okay, I had enough of this. I'm leaving, so y'all could do what y'all want to do. I'm leaving." But this leads to Newman saying, "Oh, you're leaving? Oh, you're leaving? Will Ospreay, the Death Rider? You're just the Death Rider." And Ospreay gets pissed. He's like, I don't want to do it. I need you to do it. You take him out. You lay him out. as they held up Shingo Takagi, and Will begrudgingly obliges and he hits him with the hidden blade. He is pissed off at all of this. Newman's new attitude has finally gotten to Ospreay, but he still is keeping with his group, with his friends here. Newman shifted focus to Tsuji and Takagi in the post-match, stating that admission to Dominion, they'd face him and Jake Lee. Whoever could pin Newman would face him for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Dominion in June in Osaka-jo Hall. This leads to United Empire celebrating the victory post-match in the ring, and then after the matchup, during the post-match comments, things got very heated between Callum Newman and Will Ospreay. They got in each other's faces. You get Newman once again calling Ospreay a Death Rider, since he's been hanging out with the Death Riders on AEW. And Ospreay cuts this fantastic promo where he talks about every time he gets dropped on his head, his arms get numb. He says he has 2 discs in his spine. He's like, you don't come back from that. He was like, you're the youngest ever IWGP heavyweight champion. He was like, I'm a guy that's accomplished a lot. I was the youngest ever Best of Super Juniors winner, but what I've learned since then, I'm totally different than what I was at 23. You don't know. He was like, I'm not the same guy that I used to be, but I'm trying every day to be that guy again. And he's like, I'm going to try to be that guy for you and United Empire. And he says, I am not, and I will never be a Death Rider. And that's all Newman needed to hear. And he says, okay, we can leave now. We can all be at peace. Amazing storytelling. I really love this matchup. I gave the matchup 4.5 stars. I think it wasn't as good as the night prior main event because it was a little too many ref bumps and involvement with the interference and stuff, and that kept it back. But Shingo's performance was amazing in this matchup. Shingo always steps up in the big matches, and I thought he delivered here. And Newman is just the most brilliant heel that New Japan's had in a very long time. All the little things he does to get heat, it always seems to work, and it works to perfection here. But the post-match, that's a 5-star angle that follows up from the story of Will Ospreay in AEW with him getting training from Jon Moxley and the Death Riders, and it informed and enhanced the whole story that's going on between Callum Newman and Will Ospreay here. Superb work by both guys. I thought Newman was the ultimate dickhead, getting in Ospreay's face, calling him a Death Rider, antagonizing him to the point that he had to join the attack in the post-match. And I like the setup for the tag team matchup, which makes people want to watch a Road 2 show, which is very rare in New Japan, but this year the Road 2 shows have been worth the watch. Sonal, what did you think about the main event and then everything that went down post-match?
My grievance, it might have gone slightly a little too long. Little bit too long. Maybe about 5 to maybe just a little bit. And yeah, the bumps thing. I will say this though. That the reason that I have no issues with the little GGGs for the Empire compared to House of Torture is that, again, it's the same with the match against Tsuji. For 98% of the match, it's all Callum wrestling very well. Do you know what I mean? And someone said it really well. With Callum, the cheating is to aid the story, not to overarch it. Whereas compared, obviously, you probably only needed like one low blow. And obviously, the Tsuji coming in and stuff, that linked to then what happened later. So that was fine. So that I've got like no issues with. I really enjoyed it. Again, like you said, it's not as good as the night before, but it was great. Callum was healing the fuck out. Honestly, I genuinely thought he was injured when he was nursing that knee. I was like, he is selling that like it was no tomorrow. And Shingo was doing phenomenal work as well. Like, it just worked. It was just a classic babyface versus heel. And then obviously with this, I will say, and I mentioned this a few times across my own channel, is I'm not too happy with this whole pushing Ospreay. I understand why they're pushing Ospreay in this narrative. Do you know what I mean? And I know it's for a future thing. I just kind of, this is just a personal thing because I'd like Newman to, because a lot of the criticism a lot of people have with Newman is, oh, it's because of Ospreay, blah, 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 blah. I kind of would like him just to be without that. But again, like I said, how it linked towards the end and like the storyline going forward, I can't complain, but I kind of do want at least some separation, or at least him to have some defenses and things without Ospreay. But yeah, like the post match with Shingo and Tsuji, and then obviously with Ospreay, I think it's great. I think they're really working Callum. Callum has come on leaps and bounds. Like, the guy's 23, but he's come leaps and bounds since he first debuted with New Japan. I mean, obviously he's been wrestling for so long, but yeah, the change in him in the last few months has been insane.
J News.
I can do without the clown show. That's my only gripe. And it literally frustrated me while watching the match. And I was like, I don't need House of Torture hijinks in my United Empire matches. Like, we already have one heel faction that does that. I don't need the other heel faction to do that same shit. I understand the difference. Don't get me wrong. One helps to amplify one heel. The other one is more of overarching, taking over the match type thing. I just don't need two heel factions doing similar things. That's my only gripe. Outside of that, the match was pretty good. I've been on this Callum Newman train for a while. The young man gets it, and I respect that. The storyline that is going on with Will Ospreay, there's so much nuance to it that there's stuff we don't even touch on, right? Every time Will looks at Callum, he also looks at the version 4. And to me, to him, he never held that belt. He wants to hold that belt eventually. So this is all coming to a head on different levels, not just on AEW, but for New Japan as well. So I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but for some reason I feel Will Ospreay will be IWGP Heavyweight Champion at some point in time within the next calendar year. That's just something that I believe based on everything that's been going on with this particular storyline as of right now. The rage baiting that Callum does with Will is impeccable. And it just seems like out of all the other members in the Empire, the one he has, I guess, most chemistry left with, let's just say, is Hanare. Like, Okan doesn't listen to Will. Zane J got no business listening to Will because he's freaking Callum's young boy. The JY, he don't know Will from a hole in the wall. So what's they ain't no relationship there. Him and Akira haven't really come off in recent times and stuff like that. And obviously there's the distinction between Andrade and Will Ospreay, because Andrade over on the AEW side, he's part of the Don Callis family, but he's part of the United Empire over here. So there's a divide there as well. So there's a lot of intrigue within that whole story that I like. There's things that they can really pick apart and go in different avenues with. So I can appreciate that. And from a storytelling perspective, I think they're on one here. Just from a match booking perspective, I just don't need the United Empire doing House of Torture shit to win matches. That's my only thing. But outside of that, hey man, keep it going with what it is that they're doing with Will Ospreay and Callum Newman and everything else in between. We're gonna see if it's gonna be Tsuji or it's Tsuji and God damn it,
Shingo.
And Shingo. Who's pinning who? Obviously, it's gonna be Tsuji at the end of the day. But we'll see how that all ends up on the Road 2 show. And yeah, nice to see Miss Takagi out in the crowd cheering on her, man.
Yeah, I like the way they used her in this match.
She's so funny. So I tweeted yesterday, so they posted a video of the VT. And I tweet because I still have a long running beef now with Shingo for basically baiting me to think he was single for so long. And so I was like, oh, this just proves how single I am. And that's a boy liked it. And I was like, damn it, girl. Don't push in my face anymore.
Pushing it in your face. Love that. But yes, we have made it to the end of this review. Let us know in the live chat, in the comments down below. What was your match of the night for night 2? Your moment of the night, your MVP, your LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle for this show. And then we'll do thumbs down, thumbs middle, and all of that for the entire weekend. But for me, Sonal and J News for night 2 of Dontaku in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board for night 2 of Dontaku. Sonal, what was your out of 10? What did you give this show?
I'm like an 8.5. That's a very strong show. I think it's a very strong show.
I gave it an 8. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for night 2 for me. J News?
I gave it a 7.5.
All right.
So it's higher than night 1. So there.
J News, what was your match of the night?
You know, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to go with the Never Openweight 6-man championship match as my match of the night. Just because I was super frustrated with the hijinks during the main event. It took away from it for me, but at the end of the day, I think that the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship match was great. Everybody involved did their thing.
Sonal, what about you?
I'm going to be different. I liked the junior tag match. I love the storytelling, especially at the end where it's like Fujita lost because he was looking out for Robbie. And it's like, it'll be interesting to see what we do with Mistico and Desperado, but I've really been liking the junior tag matches, and it was so diverse, so many different styles. And I always love Robbie Eagles. I think he deserves way more love from just everyone.
I love a good old-fashioned heel versus babyface matchup, so I'll go with the main event, Callum and Shingo. I thought there was too many ref bumps for my blood, but I think that overall the matchup was excellent. Other than that, so MVP for the show, Sonal, who you going with?
Shingo.
J News?
Same. Shingo Takagi.
I'm gonna go with Will Ospreay. Excellent performance in the Never Openweight 6-man tag, and then I thought the best part of the show was the stuff with him and Callum Newman, and that is also my moment of the night is Will being forced to hit the hidden blade on Shingo. Sonal?
That was good. Yeah. It's the Robbie and the Fujita moment, just that moment of hesitation from Fujita. I like storytelling. I like things with family. Do you know what I mean? I love the close bond between TMDK anyway. So that coming out, it was just such a small moment that changed the entire trajectory of the match.
J News?
Yeah, my moment of the night, just to repeat it, was when Callum sat right next to Natsport at the end of the day and was healing it up.
That was awesome. That was awesome stuff. And LVP for the show, J News.
Ooh. That's God. You know what? I'll go to the default answer with the House of Torture. Just because it's hard for me to it's just hard for me to think of anything else right now for night 2.
Sonal?
Didn't watch House of Torture, they can't count shockingly. But as Zane J, why are you coming out with no shirt on as a second? It just looked stupid. It looked goofy.
I'll go with Chase Owens going 50-50.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's great.
Sorry.
My answer. Chase Owens. Yes, Chase Owens. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, you ain't that bad. You ain't that
absolutely. Get that weak shit out of here, Chase Owens. Get that weak shit out of here.
All right, thumbs in the middle for the entire weekend of Dontaku in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up, thumbs in the middle from J News. I gave a 6 to night 1. I gave an 8 to night 2. So math, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Sonal?
7.5. Just like I said, the top matches did really well, but there's too much House of Torture for my liking.
J News?
Yeah, I did the math, man. 7.5 plus 6 is 13.5. So I'm 6.75. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it ain't middle of the road, man.
Fair enough. What was your match of the weekend, J News?
Match of the weekend. main event of night one.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Andrade and Tsuji. Sonal, yeah. And then the MVP for the weekend, I'm gonna give it to United Empire, walking out with all the gold. Sonal.
I'm gonna be specific, say Andrade. That was mighty fun.
J News.
I think the ladies love Andrade for some reason.
Japanese women love Andrade, man.
For one reason or another, the ladies just love a real Latino man. So I can't take it away from him. Yeah, MVP, man. For Andrade, for me. He showed up both nights. At the end of the day, as you know, personality-wise and all that jazz. He won the championship on the first night, and then him showing up with the rest of the Empire on the second night. I was like, oh, so this is a real thing now, huh? I was like, so
it's real. We got that real thing back. And LVP of the weekend is, of course, the House of Torture.
House of Torture.
Yeah, House of Torture.
Yeah, House of Torture. All
right. We have made it to the end of our 2-show review for NJPW Wrestling Dontaku. Want to thank you all in the chat for joining us live. Thank you if you're watching us on demand. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up, share this video, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you always get contacted whenever we are live with New Japan content. To pull back the curtain, probably I was gonna message y'all for Monday next week so we can preview the Best of Super Juniors tournament. So let me know if y'all are free. But thank you so much to the crew. J News, Sonal's back. Glad to see you once again. Gonna give you the floor. Let everybody know where they follow you and when they can see you again.
Yeah, so you can find me Sonal's Life on YouTube. I put up my own review earlier of the Dontaku shows, but I do previews, I do reviews, and I also now do like short news videos. So for example, last week I had one on Evil's debut and everything with Tonga Loa and Jeff Cobb. So make sure to subscribe, but also follow me on X at wrestling_chat. You can watch me live tweet, you can see when videos are on, and you can also see when I'm next going to be on this channel.
And J News, let the people know where they can follow you.
You guys can follow me over on the Twitter machine at JohnLYFNMG. Follow me on Instagram at _JONJY. I'll be back here next Monday on True Heel Heat previewing the Best of Super Juniors tournament. You can catch me on my weekly podcast with the lovely Dolores every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Hit the Ropes podcast on our respective YouTube channels. See you guys soon and appreciate y'all for chiming into the chat as y'all always do and participating with us.
Absolutely. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. And of course, I will be back live with y'all tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Rated Raw Review, reviewing tonight's Monday Night Raw, me and J News. And yes, we'll talk a little bit more about the New Day's release. JC Mateo and Tonga Loa also getting released from WWE with J News and get his thoughts. If you want to see our live reaction to that news, check out the True Hill Heat flagship podcast, True Hill Heat 379 from this weekend. Myself, John Escudero, and Miss Chrissy Love reacting to that news and talking all about it and the potential of the New Day heading to AEW. We talked a lot about that on the pod. So join us back here next Monday if you like New Japan content, as we'll be previewing the Best of Super Juniors tournament. So for Sonal, for J News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been our NJPW Wrestling Dontaku 2026 review. We are signing off until next